Yeah.
Was that the last one we did?
I think that's the only two. Hello everyone, welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. We are back once again for another live watch along on the YouTube channel, and what a game we have tonight. Of course, as we know, the Ligue and title race is very, very close. And if you don't know, we'll talk through it all in a second, but this game means everything. And we've hyped games up in the past on this channel. You know, we've sat here in some games, we've hyped it up to the max. But this deserves the warrant to be a hyped game. It's the biggest match of the season in France, and it doesn't even involve PSG, which is mad. Lyon taking on Lille tonight. What a game. It's going to kick off in about 2 minutes' time, but joining me for the first time in quite a while, we're doing a duo watch-along, both together. Of course, it had to be KL for tonight's game. Another Liga clash that we've done together. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, mate. It's been a great couple of days. For me, in particular, not as much for you, but in particular for me. And this one is one that I've spoke about on streams that I've done solo. I think probably you've spoke about it as well.
Yeah.
This is the title race that not many people are paying attention to, but is the one that is going to go down to the wire. And the ramifications of this game tonight affects every single team in that top four. By the end of the night, we could be talking about Lyon being back in it or out of it completely.
And we could also be talking about Lille being in it, or potentially finding themselves in a bit more of a tricky position. This game starts in about, I would say, about a minute, 2 minutes time. So we'll crack on, and of course we'll go through the lineups very quickly before this game starts, and then we'll look at the table. So starting off with the Lyon lineup tonight, 4-2-3-1 for the Holmes team. Anthony Lopez is in goal. Back four, very interesting back four actually. Leo Dubois playing as a left back. Melvin Bard as a right back. Matteo De Sciglio, the Italian, is playing as a centre back with Marcelo. Quite interested to see how he's been doing at Lyon this season, actually. Kind of probably, I would say, his best spell he's had at a club in years. Midfield three, you've got Maxence Cachere and Thiago Mendes as the two defensive midfielders, you could say, or the holding ones at the very least. Lucas Paqueta, who's been absolutely brilliant this season. He is the central attacker midfielder. Memphis Depay is on the left-hand side. Toko Ekambi is on the right-hand side. And usually with Lyon, it tends to be Depay, Toko Ekambi and Kadewere, but very recently, Islam Slimani started to make his name as the player up top. What do you think about that? Slimani, interesting player.
Yeah, I was going to say in general it's a very interesting lineup. I mean, you look at the back four, there's three fullbacks in it. You know, of course, De Sciglio, I would say with you again, I think he's found a home at a club which he's been waiting for a very long period of time. You look at Hassan Aouar on the bench, he's probably the biggest playmaker that Lyon have. And as you said, it's usually Depay, Kadewere and Toko Ekambi. But for me, when I watched Soleimani against the game against, I think it was PSG, he came on and he did make a difference. So he leads the line tonight. Maybe he thinks, that he can be a big, more physical presence up top, whereas Depay is a bit more tricky and he likes to drive at players, whereas Soleimani can hold it up, bring the wingers into play, and if not, we know he can finish.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've only got to look at what he did at Monaco last season pretty much, and you can tell that he's an incredible player on his day. Let's have a look at the away team. My voice just went there. Lille line-up 4-4-2 tonight. Mainan is in goal, being linked with a move to AC Milan. That news came out today, so perfectly timed that one, didn't they? Back four, Domagoj Bradovic, Sven Botman, Jose Font, former Southampton man, knows how to get into European football for sure, and Zeki Selic as the right back. Midfield four, we've got Renato Sanchez playing as the left mid tonight, Jonathan Akone on the right with Benjamin Andre and Boubacar Samare as the two midfielders, and then up top, I don't know why it says Barak Yilmaz, it's Yilmaz up top, Jonathan David alongside him. Jonathan David is the player I'm going to pick out on this one because Lille at the beginning of the season, when he first signed, a lot of excitement and anticipation when he joined from Ghent, played very well in Belgium. Didn't start off on the right foot, and I think a lot of people were starting to question whether he was going to be a good signing or not, but turns out, for what he's done this season, he's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and understandably so, because, he is a young guy, he's going to take a while to adapt to a new league, and when you're playing in Belgium, of course the quality's a little bit different. I'm not scrapping on Belgian football at all, it's a quality league, but Ligue is one of the top 5 leagues for a reason, and I think it's took a while, but David has fit into the system, and the manager is working with him, and he's done a fantastic job. He's kind of coming to his own, and obviously learning off a player like Yilmaz, I think it will do great for his career, because, Burak Yilmaz has never been, the top tier of striker.
No.
But he's an experienced player who's been around the game long enough and made a good career in the game, and I think it's a good role model for the likes of Jonathan David. And interesting players missing out on both sides. Xhaka missing out in the midfield. Bamba, Yazici, one of their best players, especially in the Europa League this season, missing out. It's a big game for both teams, and some big names to come off the bench as well.
Yeah, some very big names indeed. In fact, when you look at the bench, you can see for the away side, they've got, as you said, Yazici, Xhaka, Araujo, have been very important this season, Bamba as well. And then when you actually look at the home team, you can see they've got Kadewere, who could come off the bench, with some Aouar, who's been missing for a large part of this season, Cornet as well. So they have got lots of players that can come into this team and definitely do something. But it should be a very exciting game, and we're 2 minutes on the clock here. Not the most energetic start in the world, as you would expect. Both teams feeling each other out. But looking at the chat, seeing how you guys are doing. Kyle's put, hey Josh and Kieran, how are you? How are you, Kieran?
I'm bloody brilliant, Kyle. It's nice to see you again. I told you I was going to try and worm my way onto these back-to-back Ligue and night games for this week and last week, and I've managed to do it, lads. I'm here.
He's in the building. Of course, there was only going to be one person thinking to do it, and then Chris is in the building. He's put, hi lads, hope you well. Just came back from a buffet party. Wasn't that bad, to be honest. It's not bad afternoon. Football was boring on the TV, but food was good. I'm guessing they must have had the Carabao Cup final on. That's my guess, if it was a pretty boring
Either
game.
that or Leeds United. Or both. If you had
Yeah.
both, then I just feel sorry for you.
One goal in 2 games.
Should have put the Bundesliga on 5-0. And you should have put Ligue on. They were winning 3-1. This is why we always say on this channel, the Premier League has the big games. England has the big games. But when you veer away to some of the other leagues, some of the games we've managed to pick out have been stellar. I mean, I'm going to jinx it now, and this one's going to be as boring as the Premier League.
I mean, let's hope not.
No.
Both teams have got to go for it, and the thing is specifically at this stage of the season now, these types of games where had these been played in January, December time, when we've got a couple of months of the season left, these games, we maybe like 15, 20 minutes left. If it's 0-0, players and teams, they don't have to desperately go for it.
Yeah.
While at this stage now, with how the season's panning out, which we will go through the table in a second, and what's on the line for 4 teams in the league, if we do get to 0-0 with 15 minutes left, they will go for it.
Yeah.
They will bring on, if they have to, 3 attackers up top, and it will be played out as if it is a cup final, because that's what it is now, and it's the age-old thing, isn't it, of saying we've got 4 cup finals left. It really is, especially how this league is right now.
Especially when it's not to do with the level of the French league, but when you've got a team like PSG in that race, you cannot afford to slip. At one point, this is the thing we see with the Bundesliga all the time. I loved it last year. We thought it was going to be a 5-team title race, but there was only one horse that kept winning, and it was Bayern. And if you don't keep up with that pace, you will get left behind. Fortunately for the teams in France, PSG have given them a bit of leeway during the season.
And a lot of leeway in comparison to previous years where they might lose 2-3 games a season. But when you actually look this season how many games they've lost, I believe they have lost 8 and dropped 11 points in 11 games overall, which is not PSG-like.
No, exactly. And you look at the teams like Lille and Lyon. I was going to say, to me, I was looking at the table the other day, Lille and Lyon just draw too many games. That has been their problem throughout it. And, it's maybe them games where they need that goal in the latter stages and they haven't been able to find it. I remember watching Lille and they fought back from 1-0 to 1-1, but it's a game they had to win.
Yeah.
And that might come to bite them at the end of the season. And in this game specifically, they need to either get a lead early, because when it gets later on in the game, I'm not sure which team will come out on top. It'll probably be the team with the fresher legs.
Yeah, and it's neither of these teams are actually in European football anymore. They're out of it, so they've got nothing to play for there. Lyon played midweek against Monaco in the French Cup. So technically speaking, you could say Lille are the fresher of the two sides, but it all depends on who played in that French Cup game, which I believe they lost 2-0. So they're actually coming onto this, technically speaking, with a negative result. But in the league, it's been quite positive so far. But look at the chat, seeing what you guys have been saying. Dad's in the building. How are you doing, my friend? He's put evening Josh and Kieran. Lost my second darts match 2-0. Very unfortunate for you. Keep grinding. That's the important thing. There's a chance here for Jonathan David to try and get around his man. I think, in fact, was it a corner? It was a corner, yeah.
He tried to do like a Berbatov spin round the defender, but he wasn't tricking anyone. It's interesting with this Lyon defence today. As you say, Maxwell Cornet on the bench. This is a much more defensive back four in terms of, Cornet, he made his trade as a winger, so he's good at getting forward. But I think this back four is solid. But they are out on the right at the moment, and I think it's Paqueta driving, and he pulled it back.
Tell you what, I think that was Dubois who made the run forward. I might be wrong, but it looked like Dubois to me who'd made that run.
It could have been, because I think Paqueta's there.
Yeah, it was Dubois who made the run forward, and we've seen before with the Lyon team, I think especially when they played Man City last season, that the fullbacks do like to push up very, very heavy. I know, of course, Cornet is a very different player to Dubois, a bit more attacking, but he's got danger. He's a danger man.
It's interesting how Bard will do, because Bard's the one where I'm a bit surprised he's in the starting 11. I'm surprised Skiglio's at centre-back, to be honest with you, but yeah, you're right. On the fullbacks, when they played against Maxwell Cornet specifically caused all sorts of problems for Man City. If they're the ones that will provide the overlaps, I'm interested to see with this back four if they will advance as much as they usually do. But with Dubois, we saw then, they seem fearless, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they've got to be today. They have to be fearless, and most importantly, they have to be ruthless in front of goal. In fact, I want to see actually the last time that these two sides faced off against each other to see what the score was, because I'm guessing it must have been quite a while ago. So I am going to keep scrolling down for a second, but I know Chris has just put it in the chat. Good to see that there's no player in the thumbnail with a flower in the mouth. That was a picture for Valentine's Day, I think, as a promotion that Atlanta United did. Bit of fun. It's a bit of fun. But the last time they played each other, just check now, 1-1 in November. Prime example of a game where, had it been this time of year, it would have been a much different story. But Marcelo was actually sent off in that last match in the 50th minute. So Lyon were down to 10 men for 40. So quite poor for Lille not to get a result in that game. And funnily enough, that could actually be a game they'll look back at and go, should have had three points in the match rather than two.
They're the games where they've got to break teams down that are sitting back because they don't want to lose their lead, and that's when they've struggled a little bit. But luckily for the likes of Lille and Lyon, they're definitely in the race. And you're right, it was Dubois who just took it round the outside, and it was Botman who got his foot to the ball at centre back.
He's going to be a fantastic player to watch where he goes maybe in the future, not just today in terms of how he plays, but being linked with Liverpool in the summer. I think he's got a big future ahead for him. But just look at the chat, see what you guys have been saying. Kyle saying, watch the Wolves-Burnley match earlier. Wolves were horrendous. Burnley were brilliant. Burnley, should be safe now. And I think, we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? I think Wolves might maybe sack Nuno at the end of the season.
It's interesting. As I said to you earlier in the day, I was looking on Twitter and it seems the fan base is half and half because he's the one that brought them to where they are. They've done things under Nuno that they'll never have dreamed of doing, getting to the Premier League, finishing in the top 7, playing in the Europa League.
Yeah.
But now is the shine wearing off? Sometimes you have the opposite. A manager does really bad and you're turning on him.
Yeah.
Then he turns it around. But in this case, they've had the honeymoon. Now we'll see if they can stick with them through a tumultuous marriage. But Zaki Selik has made a great overlapping run on the right.
He has, and he's going to try and lay the ball into Burak Yilmaz, who takes a touch, tries to play it into Ikone, who takes a really heavy touch, and you can see Burak Yilmaz, I think, just giving him a little round of applause there, either that or a very aggressive clap for the fact that he didn't take a great touch. But yeah, he's one of those where I think Nuno is under threat, and Wolves might look at it and go, Leicester sacked Ranieri after everything he did. And eventually look what's happened for them. They've become a better club for it. But it'll be interesting to see how Wolves do over time. And then Daz saying he plays Matthew Edgar's partner next, Josh. Very best of luck for it. Hopefully it goes well for you with that. But to give you kind of a brief idea of how the table is looking in Ligue right now, as it stands, PSG currently sat top. They played a few days ago and won 3-1. They are currently sat top on 72 points. Lille right now in second on 71, but that's because they're technically drawing this game. Monaco in third on 71, Lille with only 1 goal difference better. And then Lyon in fourth on 68 points with a 33 goal difference. So if Lyon win tonight, 2 points will separate the top 4. Mm-hmm. If Lille win tonight, they will go back to the top of the table. If they draw, then it stays as it is. But most importantly, goal difference. Yeah. Everybody's even apart from one.
Apart from PSG, who are running away with it in terms of goal difference. But goal difference was always an intriguing stat when you looked at the rest of the league, to be honest with you, because no one in the league likes to outscore, and apart from PSG, which is what they're known for. It's what they're known for.
And it's what you would expect from a team that is boasting ridiculous amounts of talent. But I think Lyon have done very, very well this season. I think it was expected, not to get Champions League this year, to not have any European football. Let's not forget they finished 7th last season, so they didn't get anything for it. You've got to give them some credit, and there might be a chance here for Lyon maybe to have a chance as Toko Ekambi drives into the box. He's waiting for somebody to play it into, comes towards Paqueta, who takes on the shot, and in the end, Lille get the ball back. And this first 10 minutes has been a pretty slow start.
Yeah, very, very cagey between the two teams. Both teams have had fleeting half chances, I would say. But in terms of, having a real clear-cut opportunity, I can't name one in the game, but we're seeing evidence of what Suleiman is in the team for just then. There was a long ball over the top. He nods it down to a midfield runner, and that's what he's in the team for, to be a target up top.
And here is a player who's going to be a target up top again, Burak Yilmaz. Very, very good player over the last few years, not just for Lille. He's been incredible at the likes of Fenerbahce. I think he was at Besiktas as well at one point. He's had a incredible career, and again in Ligue 1, a man who just seems to play good anywhere he goes.
Yeah, he's one of them that's always, he's a known player, and as I say, he's never been an elite striker. He's not going to be up there with your Benzemas and your Lewandowskis. That's not what he is, but he is a very good striker, and he is literally, if you put him in the team to score goals, he will get you 10, 15 maybe a season, and that's what you want him to do. Obviously he's a bit older now, so he's not reaching the scoring numbers he did in the past, obviously in Turkey, but he has been a brilliant footballer for a long time. And
to get double figures as well in Liga and in a debut season is fairly impressive in itself. We've seen many players in the past who do come to Europe and struggle. I mean, I think Benedetto, when he first came in, struggled a little bit before he started to bag a few goals. But going to be a corner kick here for Lyon. 12 minutes into the game, nearly 13 to be precise. Might be an opportunity here. And Islam Slimani is one of the players you're looking at and thinking maybe you can get it towards him. But going to play it short here, Lyon.
I was going to say to you, Josh, to be honest, I know it's a short corner and it's going towards the back post and it looks like it's going to be a free kick for a clash of heads. They're not the tallest team, Lyon, are they? Thinking about all over the pitch, like I'm thinking Marcelo, I'm thinking, Slimani. Toko Ekambi's got a little bit of height to him, but it's not really his game. So I'm thinking, maybe that's why they're going short, get a different angle to try and move defenders around so they can have free opportunities. Because if you look at this Lille team, specifically with Botman, he's an aerial threat.
Botman, Bradaric, Fonte, they're all fairly tall at the back.
Yeah.
I think Zeki Selik's probably the only one that is small, and even then, I think he's 5'6", 5'7".
He's scoring a header.
You feel like he's scoring a header at some point in this game. But we haven't had any goals so far in this match. But looking at what you guys have been saying in the chat, Chris saying, Martinez lucky I'm not manager at Atlanta. Otherwise, he won't be in team doing nonsense stuff like that. It was a promotion that they did, Chris, to give you a bit of an idea. Peter's put cheer up, Chris. It was basically, I believe it was a Valentine's Day promotion Atlanta did, so he was asked to do it. It just wasn't like he just took a picture of a flower in his mouth and put it up online. I'd be a little bit worried if he did that.
It would be quite funny, wouldn't it? He just put it, as I say, if he doesn't put it out after a loss, I think I'm alright with it. Unless they had lost, and then he's like, hello, and I get it. But he says Prince Charming from Shrek. Prince Charming had blonde hair.
Yeah,
that's
true.
it.
And do you know what? At the end of the day, it's a bit of fun, innit? A bit of fun. Maybe Callum Guy might do that one day.
No,
you never know.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
And then Daz has put, apparently West Brom are 2-up 59 minutes in. Left it a bit late, didn't they, this season, West Brom?
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, from what I saw in the first half, they both had a penalty within 30 minutes. But as you say, West Brom getting hot, I would say at the right time, if they hadn't have already... It'd have been too late. You know, if this was maybe 4 weeks ago when they'd had these results, you're thinking, wow, they're really making a stride to save themselves. As Diagne put them in front. What does it mean for the table, Josh? I mean,
table-wise, West Brom now actually on the same points as Fulham, which is quite bonkers when you think about it, because obviously we've all lauded Fulham this season for how they've played. You know, you take a look at it now in the Premier League, think, had Brighton and Newcastle dropped a few points here and there, West Brom could have actually been in a position to fight for survival, but in the end the goal difference is always going to be a major problem for them. Again, when you look at the top of the table for Villa, it means for them another opportunity that they've had to try and get towards the European spots has failed, and it looks like now they're probably going to cement a mid-table position, but there's a chance here for Lille to come forward, and it was one opportunity from Akone to play the ball to David, and it doesn't get to him in the end, and you feel like that could have been the first major opportunity of the match.
Yeah, it was a 3-on-2 with Akone, Yilmaz and David, and for me, he got caught in two minds. He didn't know whether to go himself or square it to one of his partners. He went to square it, but at that point there was two defenders back, and it was a miss-hit pass anyway. And that's a really, really poor pass from him. And it's a crucial opportunity in the game in the opening 20 minutes to really get a foothold in the match, which no team, I don't think, has had so far.
No team has. It's been very, very cagey so far. Just going through some of the stats, because we're looking actually before the game for maybe some of you that don't watch Lyon, Lille or the Ligue. When Lyon have actually come up against Lille, they are winless in their last 8 games. They've drawn 4, lost 4. Their worst run against a current opponent in Ligue 1. Their last win, and there might be a chance here to go in the lead, and he's actually lobbed it onto the top of the bar, and that is the biggest chance of the game so far.
Yeah, Memphis Depay chips one over the top. I think Botman, again, another man caught in two minds because there's a midfield runner, and he peels off to Silimani, takes a touch, tries to dink it over Mainan on the half volley.
Do you think he's a little bit too close to lob it?
I think he needs to get it perfect.
Yeah.
If he's going to lob it, but it's a bouncing ball, so he can't slot it either side. I think if it's on the deck, then he's going to slot that either side of mine, and it's a great opportunity. But he tried the dink, and it was close to nestling in the net, but unfortunately,
not close enough.
Roof of the net, and that's a real massive opportunity. Great play by Memphis Depay to pick the pass, and I've got to admit the midfield run dragged Botman completely away, and really nice play from Lyon that.
Yeah, he had a lot of space, and you know, Lam Slimani is an instinctive striker, especially in Ligue 1. I don't know what it is about this league, but he seems to play so well in this specific league in Europe. But he's a very instinctive striker. He knows how to find the space, and as you said, Botman completely wiped out there, and that's the first real opportunity that we've had as Renato Sanchez looks to get the first real opportunity for Lille. He's going to get a free kick just towards the left corner flag, and a good opportunity to maybe whip this into the box, because we said Lyon haven't got many tall players. Lille have.
Yeah, I was going to say, and we didn't even mention Yilmaz in that as well. He's quite a tall striker and very good with his head in the box, and we'll see if they get a good cross in the box today.
Chris put Liverpool or Carlisle players wouldn't dare do that with me in charge. They'd be in trouble if they did. Rowan's put cheer up. Chris, he went, I'm fine, just don't like people getting into nonsense. But Daz has asked, do you guys think Liverpool will get Champions League or Europa League next season?
Well, can I say no?
I'd rather say conference at this rate, because we know now today, with City winning the Carabao Cup, which was expected, you could put your life on it, that 7th place will now get the Conference League, which as it stands is Tottenham. Although Everton have a game in hand, so it could go to Everton.
Yeah.
And even with an outside shout, Leeds United. Going to be very tough for them. They'd have to win every game and hope that Tottenham and Everton lose, but
Yeah, if
they're
Leeds,
still in there.
if Leeds would have won today, it would have put the cat right amongst the pigeons. But they're on good form of Leeds United. Last couple of weeks they've got a point against Liverpool, beat Man City, drew with Man United. But for me, I've got a feeling they won't keep up the consistency all the way to the end. And it's the same with Everton. I just don't think they'll keep consistent to the end of the season, which has kind of been their Achilles heel for God knows how long now. So I think it'll probably be one of Tottenham or Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Tottenham or Liverpool you'd expect to be the two teams. I mean, Everton, I think, have got a very favourable run, but we know what they're like when it comes to playing some of the bigger teams. They tend to do good against the big teams. It's when they play the smaller ones, the likes of the Burnleys and the West Broms, they've struggled against. And I think Liverpool, I'd probably say Tottenham, in my opinion, are the favourites to get the Conference League spot. As there's a chance here and a goal, and that's brilliant. And Islam Slimani just gets his just deserves 1-0 to Lyon.
Yep, and he had a sighter earlier in the game where he went to chip it over Mainan.
Apologies for the stream crashes.
It's alright, but on this situation, he lashes it into the back of the net at the near post. And I've got to admit, the industrious work on the right-hand side, I think it's by Maxence Kakare, I think it is, who nicks in front of the fullback, drills it across. Silimani gets her in front of Fonte and rifles it into the top corner.
Brilliant finish. Might be lagging right now. Apologise if it is while I just quickly sort out the scoreboard and such, but it is 1-0 in this game to Lyon. That just deserves. He's had a big chance about 2 minutes ago, and you can see Rudy Garcia's reaction, because he knows how big that is, and as it stands, it means that the top four will be separated by just 2 points if the scoreline stays like that. But early goal, this is going to open the doors potentially, you feel?
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what you want if you're a Lyon fan, because you need to win tonight or you're getting cut adrift. And it's not the end of the world for Lille, but they definitely need to get a result in this one. So it'll be interesting to see how they address it from now on. Do they put their foot on the pedal, and do they start pressuring Lyon into mistakes?
Absolutely. 1-0 to Lyon. Hopefully it's not lagging anymore. Shouldn't be. Apologies about that. Just needed to get Photoshop open. But seeing what you guys have been saying in the chat, Jacob's in the buildings. But hi guys. How are we doing, Jacob? Hope you're all good as always. Carl's put Champions League isn't dead for Liverpool, but I don't see them getting into it with the way they're playing. Maybe Europa. I think I was going to say before we saw the goal go in, I think Liverpool this season have dropped 14 points against Newcastle. It was something like Newcastle, Burnley and Brighton. It was some of the teams lower down in the table. It's bonkers how many points they've dropped, but there's a chance here maybe for Lille. Ball lobbed into the box towards the path of David and Yilmaz, but it is cleared away by Marcelo, and this game, you would hope, is going to come to life.
Yeah, the attacking players of LOSC will need to come to the fore right now as it's 1-0 with 21 minutes to go. Not panic stations just yet, but if they can start even troubling that Lyon defence, because when they've been in the final third, they've made crucial errors like that David pass earlier. So if all three of them can start clicking, they can cause problems. But we're just waiting for it to happen in this one as they'll earn a free kick halfway in the half. Halfway in the half.
Yeah, I would say. In fact, going to take it.
Just took it.
Take it from the halfway line. I guess Lyon aren't going to complain in that respect if they're taking it further away from where it's supposed to be. But Charles has put cheer up, Chris in the chat. Chris has put Liverpool have had a shambolic season. Regardless, don't want to see our fan base wetting out underpants and knickers over finishing top four. If we somehow do that, we are Liverpool, not Arsenal. I think you have to look in the context of the season and say,
oh, he's got to be offside. Surely there's a long ball over the top, and Yilmaz is
thought I
racing
had the
through on
whistle
goal.
go, but no.
David squared. He's fell over, but he's still finished. It's got to be a flag. There's got to be a flag.
Flag has been. Yep, flag's up.
I was going to say,
Flags
I know
up.
This is the new rule, but he was miles ahead of the last defender. Great finish by David.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
You don't even need VAR to check that. He's miles offside.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's a good ball from Mainan, but we know what the rule's like. I don't know why they have this rule. They should get rid of it. But good finish from Jonathan David, considering he nearly slipped over. Yeah. Really good finish from him.
Yeah, and as you say, I think you could tell by how clear he was. It was either going to be the most shambolic defending I've ever seen.
I don't know why. They are looking at VAR.
There's no need to look
no need to look at VAR. It's the most obvious decision I think you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
VAR was never needed as, surprise, surprise, the referee says play continues. Still stays 1-0 to Lyon. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought?
But that's the danger, in that situation there. A little mistake by Marcelo not winning the header, and Yilmaz was through on goal and he did a really nice square pass. But a little bit of a warning sign for Lyon, even though he was miles offside, They can be broken, they can break the lines, sorry.
You would expect them to break the lines. When you look at the two teams and how they've played over the last few... over the season overall, Lyon have scored 66 goals. That's the third most in the league. Lille have scored 54, which is a little bit lower than the rest. The likes of Montpellier and Lens. Fair play to Lens this season, by the way. It's been incredible. They've scored the same amount of goals, but Lyon have got very, very good attackers. Lille have got the best defence in the league with 21 goals conceded. So it is best attack. Well, not best attack. Third best attack versus first best defence in France.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, when you talk about Lille, it's weird because you do talk about the attacking players they have in terms of the likes of Ikone, Bamba, David, Renato Sanchez, industrious in the midfield. You look at Suamare, good midfielder, Xhaka. The defenders never really get a mention, to be honest with you, apart from, Jose Fonte still rocking in the best defence in Ligue at the end.
And that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of a credit to Jose Fonte for how well he's done. He's one of those players that seems to be getting better with age.
Yeah.
And fair play to him, because I think there'll be a lot of people who would look at Fonte, maybe don't know much about European football, and go, why have they got a 35, 36-year-old centre-back playing in the team? But he's been incredible for him. But Charles has put, Chris needs to hug everyone. And then Carl, so I think Jacob asked, what is the Conference League? So basically, the Conference League's the new competition that UEFA have got going on. So it is technically in the coefficient ranked worse than the Europa League, but it's a massive opportunity for clubs of a lower reputation to have a better chance of winning something. Although saying that, right now as it stands, we would have Tottenham in the Conference League, and in France, as it stands, I believe it would be Rennes who would be in there.
Rennes?
Yeah. So
Lens?
No, Rennes.
Oh, Rennes?
Rennes, yes.
Rennes?
Rennes? Rennes, not Lens.
Where are Lens?
Lens are fifth. They've
had.
had.
Is that not a different colour because of?
No. I'm pretty sure what will happen is, depending on what happens, I think in the French Cup, I'm pretty sure one of the smaller teams are still in it, so they could have a chance to get it.
We're missing a counter-attack here, and Toko Ekambi goes to square it, and there's Jose Fonte.
But yeah, I think one of the smaller teams are still in it, so there is a potential chance that Rennes or Marseille could get European football still.
So the top four, presumably Champions League?
Presumably, yeah.
Right, okay, and then Europa, Lens,
Marseille, and then Rennes are in that conference spot as it stands. Rennes? But that can change.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how far they're cut away from the rest of the pack, you almost forget that they can get something. But because of the Conference League, these are the sort of teams that are in it now. I was very shocked by that.
Depay lobs in the corner, and it's cleared away.
Miscommunication at the back between, I think it was Mainan and Soumare.
And that was the worry there. I thought maybe for a second we were going to have a chance, and another opportunity whipped in by Depay. Marcelo coming in at the front post, and it was a really delicious cross from the Dutchman. And you think all he has to do there, stick a foot out, which he tries his best to. And I think for a second there, just a little bit of good work from Lille.
Yeah, I think he may have thought that Ikone was going to get a more thorough touch on it, so he didn't leave it. He didn't go for it, but he just a little bit of a half chance there as the referee stops the play because of a little bit of handbags in the box. I cannot believe Rennes are in 7th and they might sneak their way in.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's crazy, especially how things are looking. I mean, when you actually look, obviously Montpellier too far away now. It is between pretty much the three here. And fair play to Lens this season, only lost 8 games.
That's what I thought you were talking about, Lens. Cause,
Rennes.
Lens have been incredible.
Yeah, Stade Rennes still up there to maybe get something. But Kyle basically put Conference League is the new European League. UEFA introduced before. I think it starts next season, it does. And then Chris has put Conference League, load of nonsense, just more money for UEFA. I disagree to a certain extent, because you've got to look at teams, that maybe coming to the Champions League and don't get as much of an opportunity because the standard of the bigger teams is just so high, it's impossible for them to match up on paper. Look at the Barcelona group this season with Ferencváros and Kiev.
Yeah.
2 teams that will always get there into the Champions League, But if they come up against the big teams, 99 times out of 100, they will lose. There will always be that one game they might win in a generation, maybe more. But I think the Conference League opens the doors for more smaller teams to get mentioned with the big boys, and I like that.
And I also think it gets teams in Europe, for teams that we talk about that are just on the periphery of the top four. I'll specifically say the English League. You know, the likes of Everton, who I think they've been so consistently decent in the Premier League for so long, but they'll never get into a European competition. Now they'll get into the Conference League. It gives something for the fans to get excited about, you know.
And let's not forget the winner then gets into the Europa League, which is massive for some clubs. Maybe not for the bigger clubs, the likes of the Evertons and that. They will have aspirations to get Champions League football. But for smaller clubs, let's say in Italy, for example, if you've got the likes of Sassuolo, Bologna, those types of teams that get into there, that's humongous for their clubs.
And it's more money for the clubs, of course.
Yeah.
And that's... specifically for Gladbach, I'm really glad it exists, especially for this season.
Chance here for Renato Sanchez, though, inside the box, tries to cut in, calls of handball, which the referee's going to wave away. That'll definitely get checked by VAR, but we'll have to see if that is potentially a penalty or not in a second as play continues.
Hand looked away from his body. I've got to admit, if it did hit it, I wouldn't be surprised if it's given, because his hand did seem to be up here.
Well, balls are out of play, so play is going to stop for a second, and we're going to see the replay now. It was shot.
Not a chance.
Nah.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
The ball actually whacks his hand out, like, from his midriff out into the open, and now Toko Ekambi will square up Botman and play with Silimani. Good football by Lyon, but nicked in by Andre, and that's what he's in the team to do. Just in front of the back four. Best
midfielder in Ligue 1, I would probably say. Benjamin Andre been incredible for Lille this season. You take him out of the squad and they're a completely different team at times. You know, he's probably trying to think of he's like the Busquets of the team, isn't he? Without him, you feel there's a completely different midfield. And fair play there for keeping the ball in play. I think Selic here, trying to drive forward.
Then he does that.
Yeah. After all that hard work of keeping it in, he's not able to in the end. But just looking at the seats, what you guys been saying, Kieran is in the building. He's put two beautiful blocks on my screen. You're an absolute legend.
About however many beautiful guys and girls watching.
Is indeed. Got to make sure we say both. We
pleaser.
are crowd pleasers. Chris has supposed need to give Everton a chance to win something, which is very fair.
At least I was giving you that.
And then Daz has asked, who do you think will win the Europa League, Josh and Kieran?
Ooh, it's a tough one, but I'm going to stop because Jonathan David's one-on-one with Lopez.
P-roller.
Yeah, beautiful build-up play, good interlink between the front three, as what we've seen most of this game. But again, the final finish is just off the mark by David. Europa League winner.
I'll jump in first. I'm going to stick with what I said before. I think Villarreal are going to win it. Either that or Arsenal are going to somehow shit house it, which is painful for many fans, especially if you're Spurs one, for example. But I think Arsenal might shit house it. But I want to see Villarreal win it because it's Emery. Great side, very organised, and nothing would be better for Emery to beat Arsenal after everything he went through with them.
If we're going off favourites, Man United are the favourites.
Yeah.
But something in the back of my mind is telling me that Arsenal are going to somehow get into, like, I don't know what it is. It's
they're going to make the Champions League after all of the pain.
They've been so bad that for some reason, it's like every season under Wenger, when they weren't happy with how they did in the league, but they'd win an FA Cup and everyone would forget about how bad they were. Something's telling me. I don't think they will. But
I think they celebrate it more than they would if they were to win the title. The fact that they got Champions League in a season where they've probably been the worst they've been for the last 30, 40 years.
Well, I remember that time when they played Chelsea in the Europa League final, and it seemed destined that Unai Emery in that final was gonna win his Europa League and get Arsenal back into the Champions League somehow. Chelsea won it. They
spanked them. Yeah.
They already had Champions League, so it didn't matter for them. And they just
robbed Arsenal of a Champions League spot. Fair play to them.
But I think if we're going off the favourites, I think Man United. But I think Roma are a tough test. It's 4 really quality teams left in it, apart from Arsenal.
I think Man U will spank Roma up. I really do. I think they're a good team. They're not a great team.
No.
I think problem is with Roma is they're always adequate. But I'm going to stop for a second because Toko Ekambi, just at the edge of the box here for Lyon, who were starting to try and get a foothold of this game. I mean, if they could get a second here, around about the half an hour mark, then this would be perfect for them. And they're going to play it back, so might allow us a chance to stop for a second. But I think United will beat Roma comfortably. I think it might be like maybe 3-4 goal margin between the two teams, maybe 4-1, 4-2 on aggregate, something like that. I don't think Roma will win it.
I watched Roma in the last round against Ajax, and they were very good because Ajax were a good, like, in terms of Ajax were on a kind of like a warpath there. They hadn't really been tested massively. Lille were really underwhelming in the knockout stages, but they did nullify the Ajax team. For me, that one thing that I noticed about this Roma team was they caused their own errors in terms of Paul Lopez in net. If you can pressure him, he has so many mistakes with the ball at his feet.
And Man U will pounce on that, especially with the quality of players that they've got. I think when you look at their team, it's the best team left in the competition by a country mile with just the pure talent they've got. But we've got a free kick here for Lyon. Very similar position to the one we saw about 5 or so minutes ago for Lille. Not towards corner flag, but outside in the position where this is going to be whipped in. So it's lobbed into the box by Paqueta. Mainans makes a mistake and he's going to be in. Referee's not called the whistle and it's 2-0 to Lyon. And Slimani's celebrating. But it's going to be a goal, 2-0 Lyon.
I think it's the own defender of Lille that gets in Mainan's way. It's the second time Mainan has come out tonight to try and clear him across and completely hashed it.
And he did say at the beginning of the game, wouldn't it be funny tonight if a few mistakes were there for Mainan?
And it's Botman who jumps into the hands of Mainan and they knock each other out of the way of the ball. And I think it's going to be an own goal by Jose Fonte.
Yeah, and he's got every right to go for it there in the end, Mainan, and it is just a mistake between the two players. Comes off the captain, Jose Fonte, so it will go down as an own goal. In fact, comes off his right arm in the end. But Lyon don't care. 2-0 up in this game, 10 minutes before half time, and funnily enough, on commentary they've said it's a rare mistake for the keeper, and you wouldn't be able to tell tonight with the way that they've been playing.
It's an absolute cacophony of errors that he's had tonight. Like, there's been so many errors, and I don't know if his head's in the game. Maybe it's not, but we saw it earlier. They had the warning sign when he came out to claim across, and he completely hashed at it. This time, I actually think the communication between him and Botman was all off, and I'm glad the referee didn't give it, because sometimes you see with keepers, when they go down, the ref just blows the whistle because the keeper goes down. In this situation, no one is at fault but Mainan and Botman. And the best defence in the league is crumbling before our eyes at the moment.
It is, and they've got 10 minutes to try and get something back before half-time as Lyon cruise to what would be the first win against Lille in 9 games. Last time they beat them was 5 years ago. I think it was a 1-0 win, so long time to wait for them. But seeing what you guys have said in the chat overall, Chris saying that along Man United don't win Europa League, then I'm happy. Man United should win it though, if I'm being honest. Das thinks it's going to be All English final, Arsenal-Man U, which would be a cracker of a game for the final. KD saying Liverpool might win it next year, Chris, might even win the Conference League. Cars, I hope Arsenal don't win it. They're rubbish and will win the Champions League, which is what everybody's thinking right now, unless you're an Arsenal fan, of course. And then Carl has also put, Chris has put, if Liverpool don't make Champions League this season, I won't mind UEFA banning Big Six from Europe at the end of this season, so we don't have to play Europa League or Conference. I think they've said they're going to be a bit more lenient to the English clubs because they pulled out first. I don't think they'll ban them, as we've got a fly on the camera right now. Obviously turned up to the game. He's heard the news of a 2-0 lead. Must be a Lyon fan, that fly, because it's not going anywhere, is it?
But Yilmaz is in behind again, and it's another chance. He's going to drill it in, and it's another poor cross. There's no one really in an attacking area. All men marked, and it's going to be a breakaway by Lyon, and the fly is tracking every move, and they've gone to a different camera now.
Yeah, they don't obviously want to let this fly go. He's here as a Lyon fan. Must have heard the news that the goal went in and it's 2-0, and he must be sticking around for most of the game. But as you said, that will go down as an own goal. I know Slimani was claiming it as if it was his own, but what a start for Lyon. About 7 minutes left of this first half, 2-0 up, perfect position right now.
Yeah, we said by this, the way the league stands at the moment, this is must win for Lyon. And they have come out and played like it's must-win. Whereas Lille, I don't think they've got out of first gear just quite yet.
No, seem to be on the back burner right now, and that will be the worry for Christophe Galtier. Funnily enough, has actually been linked with a move to Lyon, although I think Rudy Garcia is probably doing a very good job of keeping himself in the managerial position as Lille look to come forward here. Switch of play from Renato Sanchez to Zeki Selic, who puts probably the worst pass of the day, and now a chance here for Lyon to come forward. It's Maxence Kakare. Plays it out into the path of Toko Ekambi, who's going to be out on the right here. And it will just stay in play, I think. No, going to be a corner it's gone out for. And Mana just trying to keep it in play there. It doesn't in the end. And it will be a corner. Oh, no, it won't.
Oh, well.
They said on the commentary it was a corner. I thought he'd tapped it out of play there, but he hadn't. So play continues on. Do you think Lille needs them before half-time?
You'd like to think so. I think, to be honest, they'll probably begging for the half-time whistle at this point because this has not been a good half by Lille standards. But if they can nick one before half-time, that will give them a massive confidence boost. And that will help as well as Deskiglio makes an error, forcing it back to Lopez. And his kick goes out for a throw-in deep in their own territory. But if Lille can kind of just change the momentum swing of this game, because it's all Lyon, or it has been for the last 25 so minutes.
Yeah, they haven't really had a proper shot on target yet in this game. We had the Burak Yilmaz chance, but that was quite blatantly offside as Manon's out of his goal here. Plays a terrible pass, but he's very lucky that hasn't come off in a much worse situation, or else we could have easily been sat here saying 3-0.
We could have as well. And now this is where I like Lille. The quick 1-2s between the front three. If they move the ball quickly, they are a dangerous team. But it's when they allow Lyon to get back into shape where they're struggling to break them down, as it's a wasteful cross into the box. And I've got to admit, inexperienced by Bird there to nod that behind, because there was no one there's no one within about 5 yards of the defender, and he heads it back for a corner.
Could be potentially a big opportunity for Lille. As Ben's in the stream. How you doing, my friend? Ben Peterson said, evening all. Hope you're good as always. And then Chris has put, I think Charles has put, what's wrong with you, Chris? You okay? I'm fine, Charles. It's the way I am. And then Ben's put, he's all good, thanks, chaps. Hope you are well. Good to see you're all good, Ben. We're doing very good indeed as the corner comes in for Lille. Comes on to the head of Jonathan David, who doesn't know much about it, but he keeps in here. And this has been the problem for Lille in this first 40 minutes. It's been a case of, when they're in the final third, just a heavy touch or a poor pass that's really let them down. And potentially, with the way it's going, might be a chance here for a 3-0 lead as Kakare comes forward. Really good to keep the touch. Oh, flicks it towards Depay, and I think it would have been offside.
Yeah.
And I think the flag would have gone up there, but little chances again for Lyon to come forward.
And they've by far been the better team, Josh, in this first half, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%.
As I said earlier, Lille don't look like they're clicking at all, and what a masterstroke it's been to put Islam Soleimani in there, because he's caused all sorts of problems. He
has been a real menace so far, and I don't think many people would have expected that, especially if you look back at his pedigree over the last few seasons. Apart from his Monaco stint, he's not had the greatest of careers since he was in Portugal at Sporting, which is where he came to life. But 4 more minutes left here. Lille might have one more opportunity, maybe 2 or 3 before half-time if they can get things going, but you just feel like right now it's more likely for Lyon to score a third than Lille to score their first.
Yeah, they cannot get a foothold in this game at all. Lyon are dominating the possession, they're fizzing it around, and Lille in spurts have looked rather impressive, you know, when they drill the balls into the strikers and they quickly interchange the passes, they've looked quite good. But besides that, it's been all Lyon, and they've been kind of just controlling the tempo.
They have indeed, and we'll look at the stats at half-time, which has been a few minutes. I'm presuming it's quite heavy on possession for Lyon rather than Lille. But, well, there you go. You can see passes-wise. I think the last few minutes, it's 21 more passes, I think, the last few minutes for Lyon than Lille. So they've not had much of the ball in the last few minutes, that's for sure. But, I mean, if you are Rudy Garcia at half-time, you'd be absolutely buzzing with how your team have played, because you've got that 2-0 advantage. You've kept Lille very quiet. Couldn't ask for anything better.
No, not at all. And I think everyone's come out, and I don't think there's been a bad performance on the pitch by a Lyon point of view. And if they could make it 3 before half-time, which we're only 2 minutes away from, so it'd be unlikely. But if they do, they'd be more than worthy of it as well.
They would indeed. First yellow card coming out though. Benjamin Andre goes into the book. Says he didn't touch Lucas Paqueta there. I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, in fact, yeah, he might have a case there actually. But a little bit unfortunate to go into the book with the first yellow card for that. But
I think it was more circumstances, that it was a breakaway. Maybe he believes that it was a cynical tackle to try and stop the break in its tracks, and that's always a yellow card. But when you look back on the replay in slow motion, it didn't look like massive amount of something in that really.
No, I think that was a little bit harsh there for the ref to give that as a yellow card. But maybe a chance here for Lille to come forward with a minute and 30 left. They've given the ball away in the end. Now a chance here for Leon to drive forward. Kakare towards Toko Ekambi, but it doesn't get to him in the end. And now Lille might have a chance to come forward again on the left-hand side with Renato Sanchez, but good defending in the end, which the referee disagrees and gives a free kick.
And I disagree with the referee. I thought that was really good defending on the left-hand side by, it might have been Kakare, I'm not quite sure. But I thought Renato Sanchez just kind of overran it a little bit, tried to do too much. And I'm not sure the experiment of him on the left wing has quite paid off so far.
No, he's not really had much of an opportunity to get onto the ball. So I'll be interested to see maybe if they make a change at half-time. Maybe put Renato into the midfield, take Andre off. But Ikone driving forward here. Referee's played the advantage, I believe, so he's actually going to bring it back. And Ikone's complaining, saying, well, why that's not being given us a free kick for the second foul. And originally, you're looking back now, 2 or 3 attempts there from Mendes to try and grab him and take him down.
Yeah, he was pulling at him for a good, 5-6 yards there. As every stride he made, he was getting another grab on him from Mendes. And we know what Mendes is like. He's a feisty midfielder. He loves a tackle.
He does.
Be that either good or bad. But yeah, it's a set-piece opportunity, which might be the best chance Lille have with the way they're playing. Because I've got to admit, with the way Lille have played in this first half, the best moves for them have come really narrow in and around the area. So maybe that's because of the, not lack of width, but playing Renato Sanchez as a left winger hasn't really worked. But Yilmaz standing over free kick. We saw him hit one for Turkey, I think.
I think he's going to hit this. I think he's in a position where if you can get a bit of power on this, try and get it over the wall, you might be in a good opportunity to get to into the back of the net, especially when we've got just 1 minute of additional time. So, referee organises the wall. Burak Yilmaz, who's certainly eyeing this up. This would be a brilliant goal before half-time. Hits it. Oh! It's in! And just like that, Turkish delight from Burak Yilmaz, who puts in a superb free kick. Game on.
I said to you, he scored one
Brilliant.
like that on international duty, and from a dead ball, that is exactly what they needed. It is a dent in Lyon's plans before half-time, and Burak Yilmaz whips that one over the wall and into the top corner. What a strike from the seasoned veteran.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right into the top left-hand corner of the wall. I think it might have just slightly grazed the head of Slimani as it's gone in, but that isn't going to change anything. And the referee blows the whistle for half-time. And I tell you something, Rudy Garcia's notes must have been pure perfection for the first 45 minutes until Yilmaz hit that right at the death of the first half. And now we've got a game on our hands in the second half.
It's the old cliche saying, what will change about the manager's team talk? That's how you change a manager's team talk. They look dead and buried with 1 minute to go and added time. And Burak Yilmaz, the experienced striker he is, has grabbed this team by the scruff of the neck and brought them fighting back to life. What a hit from Burak Yilmaz to end that half. That is pure magistry from the man.
It is. 24 metres that free kick was, and as we said, just hit it with some power and it went in the back of the net. And it's Turkish delight, but not quite Turkish delight yet, because they still need a few goals to get back into the game. As it stands 2-1 to Lille. We'll talk over the stats and everything in a moment, but when you look back at that whole 45 minutes, take out the Lille free kick, because that was just a moment of pure brilliance from Burak Yilmaz. Lille played awful. Didn't play well at all. Yeah,
they had moments where they really ranked up the pressure, they sped up the play, and they could break between the lines. We saw the chance that obviously was offside in the end, but kind of a warning sign. And then we had the one where I think it was David was one-on-one, and he just hit it straight at Anthony Lopez. For me, some of the build-up has shown promising signs. However, it was not consistent enough in that first half, and also that final ball was just so sloppy on occasion and far from perfect from Lille, but they've shown some fight through the form of Burak Yilmaz. But for Lyon, if you could script a perfect first half, but only 44 minutes of it, that's what it would have been.
Yeah, but, and that's the thing, isn't it? You can go from having a stellar 44 minutes, that one little bit of magic has put Lille back into this game. And Lyon now must be wondering, well, what do we do? Because Lille will come out all guns blazing in that second half, you would expect, trying to get a nice early goal back to make this game even more exciting. As for Lyon, who knows what they're going to do in that second half. But at half-time, as it stands, Lyon 2, Lille 1, We're going to go through your comments and stuff in a moment's time. But before we look at that, let's take a look at the stats very quickly of the game to see how everything's panned out. When you actually look at the stats, quite surprisingly, Lille with more possession, 57% in the game, to Lyon's 43%. You wouldn't be able to tell, would you?
No, because to be honest with you, I don't remember Lille having that much of the ball, to be honest with you, or if they have had that much of it, they've done absolutely nothing with it. Whereas Lyon, when they've had it, they've built through the thirds and they've looked quite good. I'm surprised by that, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and even stats-wise, Lyon 3 shots, 1 on target. Of course, the Fonte goal being the own goal, so it doesn't count as a shot on target. Lille 4 shots, 2 on target, with more possession, more passes, better pass accuracy, which is mad when you think about it.
This is where I believe stats lie, because that would suggest that Lille have been the better side.
Yeah.
And if you watch the game, they have been far from the better side in this game. They, unlike, I've got to admit, Lyon, I think even if they've had less possession, they've definitely done more with it. You know, they've created more attacking, they've created more chances in attacking areas for themselves. But for me, again, I don't think them stats really tell the whole truth. I don't know if you might disagree, Josh.
No, I don't think it does tell the whole story. I think Lyon, for 44 minutes, as you said, will be very happy with how they played. Yep. And then it's just a moment of pure brilliance from Yilmaz that gets Lille back into the match. And it changes everything. But I think the stats there do kind of lie to what we've seen. Because Lyon, for large parts, feel like they have dominated. And maybe it's a case of Lille having a lot of possession in their own half.
Yeah, maybe. To be fair, they do like to pass out from the back, sideways passes between Botman and Fonte as well, yeah. Just not real meaningful possession. You can have 90% possession, but if you don't convert it into, the final third of the pitch, then it doesn't really matter. So for me, I think Lyon are definitely seem a bit understated by them stats.
Yeah, they do, and it's mad to see right now. But let's take a quick look at some of the stuff to come on the channel over the next few days, because we've got a brilliant game on right now, but we've got more fantastic games to come over the next week. So we've got Real Madrid Chelsea tomorrow. That's going to be live with Rowan from 7:55 as the Champions League semi-finals get underway. Wednesday night, we've got action with Will. NFL draft, of course, that is going to be throughout the week, but you can join Will on Wednesday for the NFL draft first round mock. And then on Wednesday night, you can join Kieran D for PSG taking on Manchester City. That's going to be a fantastic game in the semi-finals. And then Thursday, you can join the Sports Corner team. That is going to be KD and KL for Man United Roma and Villarreal Arsenal. Should be two very good games indeed. And then Friday afternoon, A-League Live, Perth Glory taking on MacArthur Bulls. You can join Rowan for that, for the A-League afternoons. And then what a game. Rangers Celtic. That is going to be on Sunday morning / afternoon. The last Old Firm for Scott Brown before he leaves Celtic. So no doubt, regardless of the fact that there's nothing online in that game, that should be quite a fun one to watch. But that's the content coming up on the channel over the next few days. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that's going on in world football. Right, I don't know what's going on there, but they're showing us Fight Night Live, and it's this
random
guy.
I thought maybe he'd have some boxing gear.
Yeah.
No, it just literally looks like a mugshot.
Yeah, it literally looks like they've taken the picture and it's just like, oh, geez, there's some surprise.
This green screen for it, yeah. Sorry, anyway, that's horrific.
But let's have a look at some of the games going on across European football right now, because there's a lot going on, of course. As it stands, Aston Villa 2, West Brom 2. Villa scoring in the 91st minute, Keenan Davis, to get a very important point on the board, which means Aston Villa 1 point behind Arsenal with a game in hand. They are potentially looking towards finishing in the top 10, which would be very nice for them. As for West Brom, doesn't really matter much. Massive goal in La Liga. Bilbao 1-0 up against Atletico Madrid. Alex Berenguer means that as it stands, they've got a 2-point advantage over Barcelona and Real Madrid. Barca do have a game in hand. Sevilla also in that title race as well. Atalanta in Italy 2-0 up against Bologna. Malinowski and Muriel scoring. Bologna down to 10 men. They had a red card about 5 minutes ago, so that's got about 40 minutes left. Big game in Portugal tonight. Braga Sporting, that one's 0-0 as it stands, half time. Quite happy probably KD didn't cover that one in the end.
The Ligue and Watchalongs will return
eventually. And then apart from that, that's all the action in terms of the big European games right now. There's a massive match tonight in MLS. LA Galaxy taking on New York Red Bulls. Yeah. That would have been one of those games where if it had been on earlier, you'd probably wanted to cover a game like that.
Yeah, it kicks off at 10:30. I'll probably sneak it on in the background of But no watch along for that. There's been another day in the MLS where, apart from the first one, any other game you watch seems rather entertaining, as it was in most leagues today. I mean, look at Turkey, back-to-back 3-2s. What a night!
I say Fenerbahce 3-2. Just look at the game. They were 3-1 up, nearly bottled it in the end, but fair play to them. They're fighting for the title there. But that's all the action right now. But in this game, obviously, Lyon Lille, as it stands, Lyon with a 2-1 lead. Only just, though, when you think about it, Lille with an incredible goal for Burak Yilmaz right at the very death. And as it stands, you can see Mainan on who scored, just going through the actual ratings of the players. Mainan currently on a 4.8. Fonte on a 5.6, which I think is a little bit harsh because obviously they didn't have much to do with the own goal. But the back line right now, nobody averaging above a 6. That's how you can tell how poor it's been.
The only player that's respectable is Yilmaz. And I was actually going to say to you, because we usually go through the benches, I was going to say, for me, if I'm Christophe Galtier, and I'm not, I would take off Boubakary Soumaré because he's been a passenger in that first half, in my opinion. I think he's not had any kind of influence on the game from midfield. I'd move Renato Sanchez in there and I'd bring Bamba on the left-hand side if I was Galtier. I'm not, so it'll be interesting to see if he copies what I'm saying and I'm the oracle. But I just think Soumaré, do you remember him having one influence on this game? I don't remember seeing him.
No, I don't, but you could say on the other hand, take Andre off because of the yellow card to risk suspension and then put Renato into the middle. It'll be interesting to see what he does.
Bring Xhaka on as well, there you go.
Yeah, bit of creativity. I mean, they've got the 5 substitutions to make, so they've got lots of options on the table.
I just think they've lost the midfield battle.
Yeah.
I really do.
Cacré has been, and Thiago Mendes have been running it, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly that. And I've got to admit, like, when they go forward, everything's been quite narrow between the front three. We've seen Selleck get forward a few times, but not really to any massive implications. So I think it's an interesting game, and I do think that free kick makes this game much more finely poised than it was previously.
It does indeed. It does indeed. Looking at the chat, seeing what you guys have been saying. Jacob's back in the stream. Good to see you as always. Ostivan, how are you doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. He's put evening all. Hope you enjoyed the darts day if you did watch it. And then Daz put the Villa one, finished it. Did indeed. But let's have a quick look at social media. Don't forget you can join us on there. Well worth checking it out. Twitter is at @the_top corner if you want to see everything that's going on with our channel when we go live. Our Instagram as well is _sportscorner_. We do also post out on there from time to time when we go live on YouTube. You can also check out our website. It is a little bit quiet on there right now, but it will be getting busy soon as the NFL draft season is getting underway. That is the sports-corner.com. And as we were saying earlier in our watch-along advert, we've got a lot of stuff coming over the next week on the NFL. It is draft season. We know last season we covered it as much as we possibly can. But this year is going to be even bigger and even better. And Will is going to be covering a lot of it. So he's going to be covering it, I believe, I think it was going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So a lot of draft content to come.
Yeah, it's kind of like an entire week-long thing if you want to make it that way. I'm taking a back seat this year on the draft content for alternative reasons, of course. I've been a lot more on the football, but I'm letting Will take the mantle. He knows a lot more than me anyway. It used to be the two of us, but he will bring you the best content. He will tell you everything you need to know. If you know one of them where you're like, I'm on the periphery of the NFL, I've never really watched it. I know the big players like Tom Brady. If you want to learn more, Will is the man to go to, and it will be a brilliant week of draft content. I'm excited. Josh is excited.
Very excited.
There you go.
Very excited.
And obviously, keep up to date on the channel with that. Josh will bring you all the content.
Oh, it'll definitely be me doing NFL draft inside that for sure. Can not really name you any players, if I'm being honest with you. It'd be a terrible stream. But looking at the chat, what you guys have been saying. I don't know. BT's just cut off. Daz has asked, when is the next wrestling podcast, please? I have no idea. Apparently, for now, it's on hiatus. So I don't know when it'll be back. I can't tell you for now, but the Wrestling Corner is having a little bit of a break, which you can't blame them. They have done nearly 60 weeks worth of episodes,
exactly.
So I think it's a well-earned break deserved. But
as the other podcasts on the channel, the change in content has happened kind of over this last couple of years. Not for any particular reason at all.
Just we know what works best and what.
And it doesn't make sense to continue the podcast series we used to do. And just for now, because the Wrestling Corner was doing it week in, week out, you can have a burnout, of course. And luckily, because there's so many of us, we can rotate watch along, so none of us ever feel like we're burnt out. Maybe apart from deadline day, where everyone feels burnt out after the
That's
12
one
hours.
day, isn't
Yeah,
it? You
exactly.
know, we can do that. So yeah, it will come back at some point, but for now it is going to be on a little bit of a hiatus for the next few weeks. So we'll keep you up to date when that does come back on the channel. But Rowan and Sam are taking a break for now. But let's have a look at the benches, because we will get back into that game very shortly. As you said before, Lyon tonight, when you actually look at the bench, a lot of players in there that could make a difference. Houssem Aouar, who has had a lot of injuries, so he's been out. Player who's been God knows how many times linked to a Premier League move to Arsenal. Don't think that's ever going to happen now. But they've got the likes of Kadewere, they've got Cornet, they've got Cherokee as well. What is maybe one of the players that you think could make a difference? Because it won't be a sub made straight away, but they will inevitably make one.
This is the thing where I look at it and I just think, do you know what? Everything was fine in that first half. It was a moment of brilliance that got Lille back into the game. It'll be interesting to see how both teams come out of the second half, because trust me, I watched it midweek. Hoffenheim come out of the second half and just be a completely different team than what they were in the first half. So I think he keeps it relatively the same for now. Maybe later on in the game, maybe take off the inexperienced Bard, bring on Denea, move Deskiglio out to fullback. I think that's the immediate change I see. And maybe in the midfield, I've got to admit, Paqueta, not seen much of him creatively, so maybe then you bring on Houssem Aouar. Don't change the front three for now, because Silimani has been absolutely fantastic. But later on in the game, I could see one of the front three coming off of Kadewere.
Yeah, especially with the game still coming up over the next few weeks. It's not over yet, the title race. We'll look at what basically each team's got left for the rest of the season. We did talk about it a little moment ago. You can see Lille's bench. We said maybe about bringing off, not Renato Sanchez, maybe bringing off either Andre or Samare and putting Sanchez into the midfield. But other players on the bench, Luis Araujo, Xhaka, Bamba, anybody there that screams out as somebody to bring on?
Obviously, Bamba was my immediate choice to sub out Soumare. That was the idea in my head if he wants to stick with a 4-4-2. Change his system, maybe brings on Yazici, who we know can bring that level of quality and creativity that some other players on the pitch just can't quite provide. Because I look in that midfield between the two central midfielders, I think none of them can bring that final pass that the likes of Yazici can play, but he's more of an attacking midfielder, so you might lose a bit of balance. That's your only problem. But they have got quality on the bench. It depends how long he leaves it, because they are back in the game. How bad the performance was, that team is 1-1. Oh, 2-1, sorry, 2-1. 2-1 behind, still in the game, so maybe he leaves it immediately, but I wouldn't be extremely happy with what I would have seen if I was manager.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think Lille will make changes at some point to really get back into this game. And as we know, PSG winning 3-1 on Saturday, Monaco winning today with a late winner from Ben Yedder in the 80th minute, 1-0 for them. It is very tight indeed, and as it stands, for those of you that maybe don't watch Ligue and are wondering how the table is, PSG in first on 72 points, Monaco in second on 71. However, it now means because Lyon are winning, they go third by goal difference of +1 on Lille, 70 points each, and there is going to be a change for Lille. Bradovic coming off, Ranildo coming on, so a little bit more attacking from the Lille manager, which is what you would expect. But for the neutral, for Ligue 1, so many times in the last few years we've been sat there going, it's a farce, it's a farmers' league. It's no farmers' league when there's 4 points separating the top two, 2 points separating the top 4 sides.
Yeah, it's absolutely poised perfectly, I'll be honest with you.
It's very exciting, and hopefully we'll get more good games to come, because there's some big games.
Next week specifically, there's another big game.
There's another massive game, which we'll go through each team in a second and we'll talk through as we do get underway with the second half. Daz has asked in the chat, when is the next darts podcast, please, Josh? It'll be some point in 2021, that's all I'll say. Couple of months maybe, who knows. We'll have one at some point again in the near future, maybe towards the World Match Play. But we get underway with the action now. We have had that one change from Lille. Not the change we were expecting.
No, I think it was an attacking change in some instincts, you know. I'll be honest with you, another one where I didn't really see much of Bradovic in the first half. He did get beat on the drive into the box by, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Dubois or Paqueta for that second goal. He did get beat and the cross came in, but not the change I expected. As Benjamin Andre goes down, I have seen tape on the back of his legs, which makes me think he's carrying an injury, and he might have just re-aggravated it there.
I mean, we're only 50 seconds into this second half, and, well, you'd be thinking to yourself here, if he has... Yeah, that's one of those where he just slips over, and hopefully he should be all right. He's up on his feet again and walking, but
it's the tape on the back of the legs. You know something's not right there, and it's obviously one of them to get you through games like this. But we'll keep an eye on him, because if he is moving a little bit gingerly, you might want to replace him sooner rather than later, so you don't lose anything in that midfield. But should be all right. But it looks like he's carrying a little bit of a knock from previous matches.
Yeah, hopefully he should be okay to continue. Carl asked, was Islam Slimani on Leicester? He was indeed. Sounds familiar, he was. And then he's also put, just on Renato Sanchez, before he moved to Bayern, he was rated highly as this next wonder kid. That really didn't happen, did it? Let's not forget, he's still very, very young.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a long way to go in his career. Maybe not to the wonder kid extent he was, a few years ago, but he's very highly rated now.
Yeah, it was after the Euros. It was a massive move, and it was to a massive club, and they expect the highest standards immediately. And, maybe he wasn't quite ready for that. He was really young at the time, and he just blew onto the scene.
I'm pretty sure he only played one season of pure football as well when he'd moved. So it was genuinely at the start of his career as a footballer.
Yeah, and for me, it was that Euros where everyone went, wow, this kid is special. And then we've seen it with a lot of players who get bought off the back of good European campaigns. You look at the likes of Alexander Golovin. He's good, but is he the player we saw at the World Cup? No,
Inui.
Yeah, exactly. All these players that have amazing tournaments get bought up, and then never really. I mean, look at Guilherme Ochoa. The amount of good World Cups that man's had, and he's never been in an elite team because it's just not the same. It's one of them. You've got to find consistent performances, and I think Renato Sanchez is now finding that consistency. Forget the Swansea thing. That was a terrible move to begin with.
Yeah,
because you go from the quality of players around you in Bayern Munich to the quality of players around you in Swansea.
It's one of those where there's a mistake here. I'm going to stop for a second because Lyon are in. Depay still going, tries to chip a ball in. Well, it was very hard to say whether that was a chipped cross or a shot. It looked like a shot in the end. Just didn't really get as much power maybe that he wanted on it. And in the end, Fonte gets a touch on the ball, and you would expect here that the Lille defence clear it away, which Renato Sanchez tries to, and it's going to come back to Depay once again here. He goes down, no free kick given, and that has to be a free kick, which referee doesn't give anything for.
No, it's Depay down on the floor after a shoulder barge, and Ronaldo just keeps mowing into him. It doesn't matter.
And the linesman just stands there watching on, but this is the chance again from Depay. Yeah, it's kind of like he'd gone to dink it, but didn't really get the right amount of maybe power on it.
Maybe he's expecting Slimani to be in that sort of area gambling it, but who was it? It was Slimani who gave the ball away. He was not in a good game tonight. I like Slimani, but I'm not picking on him. He's just not had a good game tonight, and not many little players have, if we're being honest.
I mean, as we said, when we looked on whose score as it stands, Yilmaz is the only player rated above 7 in the game to be out there playing well, and there could be a chance here for Lyon to come forward again. I think that is going to be out of play and offside anyway. But Lille, they need to get something and fairly quickly, you feel. Make it 2-2, keep this game alive.
Yeah.
And who knows?
They've not really continued with the momentum we thought they would end the first half with. That goal I thought would lift spirits.
Yeah.
But in this opening couple of 5 minutes, they've been the one giving the ball away in their own half. They've been the one making the mistakes. And Lyon look the better team again.
They do, and if they can get a goal maybe in the next few minutes, capitalise on it, then 3-1, we're looking at a very tricky game to come back in. It's going to be tough for sure, but looking at the games to come for all of the teams, we'll start off with Lyon, the team in the lead right now, as it stands for their title race. Monaco next week, which is the big game, that's Sunday at 8 o'clock. They've then got Lorient, Nimes and Nice to play, so they've got quite a good run-in for the last 4 weeks of Ligue in action.
Yeah.
For the opposition side, Lille, they have still got to play Nice, Lens, Saint Etienne and Angers. So when you actually look at their run, quite a nice run again. They've only got to play one team out of the top 5, which is Lens, who are very tough to beat, but the rest of the pack have been pretty average all season long. For Monaco, they've got quite a tough run-in, I think, for the rest of the season. I think they've obviously got Lyon to play next, but they've also got Reims, Rennes and Lens. So they've got a few tough games in there, as well as the French Cup semi-final, which they're coming up against one of the smaller teams who've made an incredible run. Olympique Vallières, fair play to them to making it to a semi-final. And then PSG, I think they've got a very favourable run till the end of the season. They've got Lens, Rennes, Reims, Brest. So They've obviously got the Champions League as well and the French Cup, so they are fighting on pretty much all three cylinders in French football.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of games left to play. Does
Yeah.
that maybe come into favour for them to drop some points? Especially, when you actually look at it, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in the next month.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see, the size of their squad and the talent in it. And still tough games like Lens and Rennes are no easy feat. Maybe they can... Montpellier in the French Cup, I feel you could play probably your backup players and still make your way into the final. But then you've got to add the final on top of that at the end of the season. And how much do they want Champions League glory? For me, I think they should prioritise the Champions League. And it's two teams that has been the competition that has evaded them in the past with Man City. That's the competition for me that they should focus on this year. But if they could win a treble after what was a poor season by their standards in terms of losing games, just proves that they're a machine that just doesn't stop.
Reminds me of Bayern's season last year.
Yeah.
The whole had a really poor start, struggled a bit, and then eventually at the end of it, you've got a lot of glory and titles. There's a chance here, and the ball's lobbed in, and Depay, and he's stretching, and in the end, Depay just couldn't force it over the line, and he's just fallen over at probably the worst time possible, and Mainan stretching for the ball, and I think he would have covered it in the end had Depay got a touch, but again, nerves for Lille in the first few minutes of the second half.
Yeah, definitely nervy defending. Had both Mainan and Depay scrambling for it. He was doing roly-polies next to the post. Was Depay trying to get on the end of it, just prod something in. But again, dangerous, and it was a really shaky clearance by Botman, which ended it up at the feet of Depay. Not a calm start at all from Lille.
No, and you would have expected in this first 10 minutes or so for Lille to be the team on the front foot, going to get that early goal, make it 2-2 in the game. But so far, they've continued the way that they ended the first half. Apart from the free kick, of course, sloppy.
Yeah, I feel like their tactic might just be to try and earn free kicks in and around the box.
Set pieces.
That's the only way they've threatened so far, as the ball was whipped into Jonathan David, and it's a poor touch from the Canadian, who's not had his best night.
No, not at his best night at all. I think that could be said for most of the players so far in this Lille team. They've struggled massively, and we're just seeing again that chance for Depay where he takes the touch, slips up at the worst moment possible, and you can see there, had he have stayed on his feet, actually might have been able to have got it in the back of the net because Mainan was on the floor stretching.
Yeah.
But big chance. Massive chance.
Another mistake, and that was from the sub Reinildo, who obviously made the mistake, and it's another one they maybe replaced Bradovich because of the earlier errors, and Ronaldo's come in and he's not exactly added any confidence to the back four.
No, and I think confidence isn't brewing through this team right now with how they've started. It's been a very, very poor second half. Carl says, I did see that Depay goal against Lorient. It was a beauty, not too gone on his hairstyle. Fond, I think is what he wanted to say there.
Not too fond of the top now.
The Payet goal last week was phenomenal. The finish, I watched the game. It was when does Payet not score incredible goals? That's all he does. He doesn't score simple tap-ins. He's all about hitting volleys and outside the foot shots from 40, 50 yards out. But let's hope we get something like that in this game, because we have already had a fantastic goal from Burak Yilmaz. Renato Sanchez is going to whip a ball into the box.
Whoa,
slight mistake at the back. Calls for handball. I don't think that's going to be given.
No, but there is calls because it did come off the head of, I think it was Dubois, who had a diving header. And it looked like Marcelo was facing the other direction. That's what I think the referee will be arguing. And
I think, obviously, we know it'll be checked anyway to see if it is actually a penalty or not. I don't think it is. I think in that situation it was going to be very awkward for Marcelo to be able to move his hand. Yeah. But that'll be checked. And I think Lyon will be hoping they can keep this ball in play for as long as they possibly can and it not go out so the ref can check it. But ball's going to go back to Mainan here. And that could be a pretty big moment in the game, depending on what the referee thinks of that and what the VAR team, of course, think of that.
Yeah, because this could really turn the tide. Because again, Lille underperforming, and they might find their way back into the game via a dead ball situation, which I think the moment's passed now. I don't think that's going to be given, but I would like to see a replay.
And well, you've seen it in the past with champions. You've got to play. When you play poor, sometimes you've got to grind out results, and maybe tonight could be a situation where Lille do that. But we'll have to see. Of course, we've still not had the ball out of play yet. Might be a chance here for Lille anyway. If they could get a goal, then it wouldn't matter. As the ball's lobbed in and it's off the crossbar, I think, which it would have gone out of play for a goal kick corner. But this will now be checked by VAR, and this was the chance for the penalty shout. And for me, I don't think that's a penalty, if I'm being honest with you.
He's bringing his ball back into his body. I don't think it's going to get given as a penalty for this.
I think the ship has sailed.
Yeah, definitely so. And they can argue all they want, but for me, it's not a penalty.
Which it isn't given as a penalty. And we will have another corner here for Lille, headed out by Islam Slimani, who's doing his defensive work tonight.
Got to admit, last couple of minutes, much better from Lille. Getting into the attacking areas, putting some crosses into the box. Unfortunately, Yilmaz put one of them in, but you want him on the end of it. And this is a cross towards Botman. He does win his header, expectedly so, but heads it over the crossbar. But last, I would say, it's not a long period of time, but last 3 or 4 minutes, they've got the foot on the ball, Lille, and they've finally got the tempo down in this game, and they're finally moving at their pace.
They are indeed. I've just seen Atalanta now 5-0. That turned into a bonkers game quick, didn't it?
To be fair.
True, but they are banging in the goals now, as you would expect them to in that match. Barga's still 0-0 in their game. Atletico Madrid still losing. They've got half an hour left to get something in that game, or else it will go down to the wire in not just France, but Spain as well.
I hate them, mate. I hate Atletico, because I always believe in them every year. And even when they looked like they were uncatchable.
They looked uncatchable. Then everybody got back into it. Then they now had a 5-point advantage, and now they've bottled that again. And it feels like eventually Barcelona or Real Madrid might just nick it from them. I think it'll go down to the last game of the season, which will make La Liga very exciting, because the top 4 is still to be decided.
Oh.
The Europa League spots are still to be decided, and relegation is to be decided, as one of the coaching staff for Lille have been given a yellow card. Don't know what for. Of course, a few complaints. No doubt.
Thierry Alexiak has been booked there.
I'm guessing that was for the handball decision. That wasn't.
What do you rate his job role is? We'll Google it, but what do you rate his?
God knows. Performance analyst?
Go on, I'll go with technical director.
What was his name?
Thierry. I don't know. Thierry Ockeclack or something like that? Ockeclack?
Let's see if we can find him.
Olympique on it. No,
we're not going to find
him. God, no, staff. There he is.
Here we go. We'll find where he is. So there he is, assistant manager. Okay. That's a bit boring. We thought we were going to be a bit more exciting than that, as we played Lost Lille Manager Bingo. Have you a chance here for Lille to come forward though?
Who's been booked?
Here comes Ronaldo. Flicks a ball into the box. He's skinned towards the path of Benjamin Andre, who does get a head onto the. Gets a touch on the ball from his head. Much better from Leon, but straight into the hands of the keeper. And it's straight at Lopez. Simple save for the Portuguese.
It's exactly what Reinildo was brought into the team for. To drive into attacking areas and put crosses into the box. As I said, last 5 or so minutes, that's been much better from Lille. Unfortunately for them, it was Andre on the end of this one. You'd probably prefer Yilmaz to be the one to put that into the back of the net. But much better from Lille. And maybe they're finally getting control of this game. But as I say that, they've given it away.
There's a chance here. Burak Yilmaz plays it to David. It's in, and this time the flag will stay down, and Lille are right back in it. And in a game where champions-elect had played poorly, they are 2 up. Well, from 2-0, they were like near the 2-0 down, weren't they? 2-2 up. Well, not up, but 2-2 in this game, and they will feel like they're up in this game we've either played in the last few minutes.
So poor from Paqueta in the midfield. He goes to play a simple pass back to Marcelo, and it's terribly weighted. And Yilmaz, he's a poacher. He's on the end of it, and all he has to do is square to David. It's a carbon copy of the disallowed goal of the first half. And Lille have fought back. And again, we've got to admit, in a game where they haven't been at their best, the last 5 minutes they were trying to bring the game to Lyon, and they forced them into an error. And they may have done so again, but it's a foul. But great fight back from Lille.
And as weird as it is to say, that's been coming in the last 10 or 15 minutes, which is mad for a game where we've said Lille have played poorly, but they've got the goal back, 2 apiece in this game. They come back from 2-0 down to make it 2-2, and it's a very valiant effort indeed. And now with this game completely wide open, let's not forget that in this Ligue title race, it completely changes the complexion of the league, because as it stands, Lille go back into second place on 71 points. Lyon find themselves in 4th on 68 points. It puts them 4 points behind league leaders PSG, and the change that we expected is being made. Benjamin Andre coming off, Jonathan Bamba coming on, half an hour left. This game has got to have a few more goals in it, you feel, as both teams fight for the title.
Definitely. So Renato Sanchez, I predict, will move into central midfield.
Yeah.
And Bamba will go out onto the left-hand side. But what a game this is now poised to be. We said it was brewing nicely at half-time. Well, that brew is well and truly scorching at the moment as Dubois breaks into the box. Good defending by Reinildo, and they'll get it clear. But it should be end-to-end. I'm hoping to see basketball levels of end-to-end stuff in this one.
Yeah, it's probably will go the way of the PSG Monaco, the first game that we watched, where it was a case of, funnily enough, Monaco coming back in that game from 3 goals down to make it 3-2 and win the match. I've got a feeling Lille might be able to do that here, but it all depends on this next 5 minutes, I would say, of action. Keeping calm, keeping focused, making sure you don't allow Lyon the space, because if Lyon do go 3-2 up, they are going to feel like they've gone back to square one again, where they're having to scrap as they come forward here. Lyon, ball lob towards the path of, I think, Memphis Depay, tries to get a touch on the ball in the end, and I think Selic calling that has gone out of play, but Memphis kept it in, but it will be, I think, a Lille throw-in.
Yeah, as we see the Lyon manager, I think that was there.
It was, yeah. Rudy Garcia.
Yeah, but you can see by the kind of gesture on his face, he does not look pleased with how this second half and maybe back end of the first half has gone, because Lille, definitely the momentum seems to be with them at the moment.
It does, and it will be a topsy-turvy game. I think things will change as the time goes on. As we do reach the hour mark of the match, you think maybe we'll see some Lyon changes soon, because they haven't made any yet, as Lille have already made 2. But the tide is turning on this Ligue title clash, and I think there's more drama to come, and hopefully plenty more goals as Renato Sanchez drives forward. I think he might go on his own here. Tries to.
Tackle.
Quality in the end.
Desciglio with the scissor-esque challenge, and now it's freed up Lyon to come the other way, and it's Maxence Kakare on the left-hand side. He gives it out to Depay. He squares up Jose Fonte, trying to take it past him, and he will. He'll get his cross into the box, surely in towards the back post, and there's nobody there, and I've got to admit, I'm getting my basketball dream at the moment. It is end-to-end.
And I think it will be for large parts of this game. You kind of hope that maybe we don't get a goal in the next few minutes. You want it to be back and forth with both of these teams pushing to get that winning goal, because for both teams it's not a good thing to lose or draw as Paqueta comes off the pitch and Bruno Gimenez comes on, which I think is the right decision.
Yeah, it's a man I mentioned in the first half that I said if I would make a change it would be to take him off, because I hadn't seen much of him, and unfortunately it's his costly error which has led to this game being level.
Which is a shame, because 5 minutes before that he's flicking to the box to Depay, could have been an assist, and Lyon well and truly in the lead in this match.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's football, it changes so quickly, but they are probing on the edge of the box again. It's a nice switch to Bard. He rolls it through to Silimani. Silimani lofted it into the box, and Reinaldo's there to head it clear, but it's not fully gone until now.
Bit of nerves there for Lille, and I think we will see both backlines very nervy in this game, as numbers will push forward, as Paqueta, as we said, has come off the pitch. He'll be a little bit disappointed with how he played today.
He looks dejected, head bowed. He knows what that mistake means for this team's title race, and the position they were in the game as well. It is really disappointing for them tonight, and it's not over yet. They've had plenty to be positive about. They were definitely in the driving seat, but now Lille have begun their fight back.
And well, with 25 minutes left, they could win the game, and then the mistakes forgotten about quickly. But 2-2. Burak Yilmaz, though, with a touch, a little bit heavy at first. He's gone down. Referee not going to give anything for that, which is the correct decision in the end. And there's not really many complaints from Burak Yilmaz in that situation. No. And now a chance for Lyon to drive forward here. Let's hope that this next 25 minutes is good. My worry here is let's hope nobody gets sent off, because that's when the tide will turn in a game like this.
And I remember when we watched Lyon PSG, and Lyon were 1-0 up, and then Mendes got sent off. Luckily, it didn't affect the game too much, but obviously, unfortunately, you saw Neymar get injured.
With about 5 seconds of the game left.
Exactly. As Toko Ekambi's drilled cross, he's well cut out by Jose Fonte, but it's a poor clearance from Renato Sanchez, who's apoplectic there, as it goes behind for a corner.
And we've had a lot of corners so far in these games from stupid clearances.
Yeah.
I think Lille have done it a few times now where they've just not cleared the ball efficiently, well, maybe just hoofing it up the pitch rather than out of play. But maybe that just seems to be the tactic as the corner is lobbed in, and this time it doesn't end up in a goal. But Lyon have got the ball back here. Depay on the left wing. What can the Dutchman do? Still actually waiting to maybe sign a new deal with Lyon, depending on what happens this season. Calls for a handball from Slimani.
Again, it's another one where I think he's got...
He's not going to get it, I think.
He's got the arm on the back of Slimani rather than anything else. And it's another cross into the box which Fonse deals with. An interesting battle between them two tonight, Slimani and Fonse. I think Slimani's definitely had the best of it. As Mendes takes fire from range! And Mainan,
good save.
For all the mistakes he's made, he leaps to his top right-hand corner and gets up and over. It's a great strike from Mendes. It's destined
That's
to the top
arrowing
corner.
into the top corner. That got enough curl onto it and was given enough space. Let's talk about it in a second, though, because Lille are going to have to do some defending here. Here's Dubois. Not going to go for the long-range effort like his Brazilian teammate did a few moments ago, but what a chance that was. It was harrowing into the top corner, that.
Yeah, definitely. And as I say, for all Mainan's mistakes tonight, coming out to claim crosses that he's dropped and the mistake that led to the goal, in that situation, that's what he's in the team for, to make stunning top corner saves like that. But Toko Ekambi had a free header in the centre of the box there, and he heads it off his own shoulder. And he's been a very mistake-heavy night. I'll be honest with you, Josh.
He has. Got to do better in that situation, Toko. No defender coming towards him, but what a chance that was from Mendes. Given way too much space to take the opportunity on, and for all the mistakes Mainan has made tonight, that is a save that might just keep him from being slaughtered by the media and the fans after a few mistakes this evening, because that would have been 3-2 to Lyon.
Yeah, and Mendes, the man who gave away the free kick for Burak Yilmaz, he would have been way back in the good books if he'd have struck that one into the top corner. He would have countered your Yilmaz and raised you Mendes' screamer. But it's one of them where you want to see it go into the top corner, because it would have been absolute limbs, but it's a great save by Mainan, and that's what he's capable of. It's so frustrating when you see him have a poor night like he has tonight.
But here come Lille, trying to drive forward here. Lovely work from, I think, Burak Yilmaz with a back heel into Jonathan Bamba, but the shot low driven once again straight into the hands of Anthony Lopez, who's not actually had much to do tonight.
I was going to say this to you. Before that save from Mainan, that was, it was really difficult to make and he did an incredibly good job. I can't remember of a good save by either goalkeeper.
No.
Rather than just claiming it like that, I can't remember of a good...
lot of shots from Lille specifically have been low driven straight to the hands of Lopez. He's not had much work to do, which is mad considering we've had 2 goals.
Yeah.
But here come Lyon. Poor ball in the end towards Depay, and Lille get the ball back with 20 minutes left. I feel like surely we're going to see a few changes soon. As does this what shall I have? A tin or a bottle of beer, or stay sober till tomorrow?
A tin of beer?
I don't know.
Is that a thing?
Have a tin of beans if you want.
A tin of beer? Is that a thing?
tin of beer?
I don't think that's a thing. Does he mean a keg?
A keg of beer?
You can have a keg.
A can? Do you think maybe?
Or it could be a can.
Could be a can.
Could be a can.
I don't know. Whatever suits you, Daz. What would you say, Kieran? I know it wasn't directed to you. The thing is,
if he has a bottle of beer, surely you won't get drunk off the one bottle.
Yeah.
Because he says stay sober. Have one beer, you'll still be sober, and you'll have completed both the original tasks.
There you go. Question answered. Boom. That's what to do, Daz.
Address it to me next time.
Right, here comes Lyon. Trying to come forward. Bard on the ball on the right-hand side. One of the players, I think we said before that we were a little bit questionable on why he's playing, but
he's played all
he's
right.
done really good so far, I think.
Apart from that little bit of naive defending in the first half, another mistake, where there was no one around him and he headed it behind for a corner for no apparent reason. But besides that, I think he's been accomplished in his position, and he has got forward when necessary and not left gaps in behind. But there is a lot of space on this right-hand side for Leo Dubois. He'll be met by Reinildo. His left-footed cross is deflected by the Brazilian, and now it's a chance to break as we can see Reinildo at the bottom of the screen making a run, but he won't be found, and he looks very furious.
Yeah, he's not happy with that, especially with the run he made forward there as Lyon get the ball back here. Quite a heavy push there, I think it was on Nekone, but it has died down a little bit in these last few minutes to say it was supposed to be end-to-end. We need a few more chances, and let's hope we get that. As I said, I think we will get a few changes very shortly from both teams as they look to try and get that winner. A
few little players looking a little bit leggy, I'll be honest with you. You can tell who the substitutes are, and Ikone drills it into thingy, but Suma, I think this is Bamba now, who goes long to Yilmaz, who's been the danger man for Lille, and he's in behind again. He holds it up well. Reinildo, the follow-up run. Back to Yilmaz, who I've got to admit I've been incredibly impressed by both strikers tonight. Yilmaz.
Oh, and this could be another brilliant ball from Yilmaz, and it's again a shot this time. Just did a little bit to the left side of the post from Jonathan David, but again, Anthony Lopez is able to get down low and make a comfortable save, and it's not his favoured foot as well. Left-footed strike, doesn't get the power that he wants in the shot, and again, another simple save for Lopez. And a chance maybe now for Toko Ekambi to test the Lille goalkeeper. Going to play it into Guimaraes. Now to Maxence Kakare. Flicks the ball to Leo Dubois. Good defending from Ronaldo in the end. And Bamba, who I think Ronaldo's done a very good job since coming on. He has seemed to have just really calmed that right side of the attack down from Dubois, who has been able to get forward but not do much in this second half.
Opening 5-10 minutes, I've got to admit, he was caused into some mistakes. He looked a little bit nervous. But overall, I think he has settled into the second half. It's one of them where opening couple of minutes, he probably just wanted to get his foot on the ball and ease himself into the game. Because when you come at half-time, during the first half, you're not ready. You're not really warming up at full pace. But there's a driving run through the midfield by Boubakary Soumaré. He's through.
Chip him. Oh, it's the touch, but he's still got a chance here. Ball played into Bamba. Flicks it into the box. Comes back to David. It hits. Oh, is it handball?
Oh, he balled it.
I think he wanted to hit that there and then kind of was in a little bit of a frame of mind of what to do, and in the end it's handball. But you think, chip him. Just give it, or at least take the shot on first time, and in the end, again, just a little bit of hesitance from the Canadian.
Yeah.
And by that point, ball's just too far away.
He has scored tonight, but it's not been his best night. And
no.
Slimani's coming off, and I've got to admit, not had the effect on the second half as he did in the first, Islam Slimani, and he'll be replaced by Maxwell Cornet, and Toko Ekambi looks like he's coming off for Kadewere.
Yeah. Bit more pace on now to really flex their muscles against this Lille back line who they need to test in these last 18 minutes. But Carl's put in the chat, what do you guys think? Would Sean Dyche be a good job for the Spurs?
Sorry, Jonathan Kone is off as well for Luis Araujo.
And Xhaka's coming on.
And Xhaka's coming on, probably for Samoa Mari, or maybe they'll go with a change of system and take Sanchez off. Daniel Sanchez is coming off. So Surimari stays on. Good pass by him for David earlier. Just a shoggy touch. But I don't think so. I don't think Dyche...
no, I think a lot of fans would look at that and just be like, it's Mourinho again.
But better.
Because
he can do the defensive bit. Like
at least he knows how to defend.
He's a defensive manager that's arguably more defensive. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Spurs, not for the Spurs job. Spurs wouldn't be his...
I wonder what his ceiling is. I do wonder what Dyche's ceiling is.
He's not going to be at Burnley forever.
I can't imagine him anywhere else. So it's like Ramos at Real Madrid. I feel like he's sourcing on it. But same with Wilder. Couldn't imagine him anywhere else. But he's going to pick up a new job sooner rather than later. Probably next season, more than likely.
I'd say so. It'd be interesting to see where Dyche goes in the future because he won't be at Burnley for the rest of his days. We'll have to see where he does go. I don't think Tottenham, though, is the right role for him. Tottenham need attacking football, not defensive, in my opinion. With what they've got right now, of course, I do think in the future they are going to lose Kane and Son. They're not going to stick around forever. But now we should see some sense of urgency. We've got 4 new players on the pitch, 2 for Lille, 2 for Lyon. Hopefully, we see a little bit more fresh attacking spirit and belief from both sides now. Yeah, because that's what they've brought on.
Yeah, and the one midfielder I said was having a poor first half, Boubakary Soumaré, is the only one left on the pitch.
Yeah, he's mad. I mean, Renato Sanchez, they have got games coming up in the near future, so it could be a case of resting. But we'll have to see now as both teams really do go for it. Here's Ronaldo into Bamba. Trying to use a bit of trickery there to get around his man. Ronaldo flicks the ball into the box. Comes towards the path of, I think, Araujo, who does take a touch, but doesn't take on the shot in the end. Here come Lille again. Long range effort taken on, and well, it was a speculative one at best from Zeki Çelik, but a decent chance from the Turk.
I think it's one of them where, camera makes it look very generous for the man, because that is so far wide, it's unbelievable. But Kadewere will test his legs against Reinildo, who's done very well there, and has done very well from about the 50th minute onwards. Yeah,
he's going to get tested now. Kadewere, much more pace. I don't think we'll see Dubois maybe come up as much. But if both of them come up, he's going to have an absolute nightmare against them. And same with Cornet. I think Cornet looks to have gone up top into the striker role for now.
I think maybe Depay.
Yeah, I would have thought Depay would have gone there, but they seem to like to play Depay on the left, which is pretty fair. It's where he used to play all the time. But I guess maybe a bit of pace up top, Cornet. Fresh legs.
And we've seen him finish before as well. I remember his goal. I can't remember we watched it, but he put a beautiful slotted finish past the goalkeeper.
Scored against Man City as well a few times.
It might have been the Man City game. Might have been the game when they played Monaco. Not sure, but I remember seeing him when he comes up from fullback where he usually plays, which is really strange. but now he's back at his usual favoured attacking position.
15 minutes left. Who's going to take the 3 points? In fact, are any of them going to take the 3 points? So we're going to be sat here saying both teams have dropped 2 points, which is exactly what the statement would be, no doubt, if you were a Lyon or a Lille fan, because you need these points in the title race. Because, look, Lille might only be 1 point behind PSG as it stands, but they need a win here, and there could be a chance for the win. Selic takes the shot, comes back in, and Araujo with a shot. And it's over the top of the crossbar and out of play for a goal kick. And that's a chance.
Yeah, beautiful interlinking play between Selic and Araujo. Selic tries to drill it across to David. Marcelo does very well to get in front of it. And Botman with a beautiful bit of defending there. A nice roulette past the striker. And Yilmaz picks it up from range. I thought he eyed up a shot for a moment there.
I thought he was. And then found a little bit of space. And here come Lille. Ball flicked towards.
Oh, so it's dead goal!
And Bamba with a chance. And it was a little wobble there for Lyon. And it was David who got the original shot. De Sciglio tries to clear the ball. It's not a good clearance from the Italian. It comes straight to Bamba. And it's a poor shot in the end. It's high and wide. And a real mistake from Lyon. And a poor chance from Lille where they could have put the ball in the back of the net.
2 chances in a matter of a minute from Lille with Araujo and Bamba. Where I think they've got to at least be hitting the target. I know they're difficult, it's a bouncing ball, but I think you've got to at least be testing either the keeper or maybe forcing the defenders into a block. But Lille definitely the better side in the last couple of minutes, and they're down on the right again. And this time I think it is David who's ran himself into the channel, and I've got to admit he's ran himself into the ground. He looks absolutely knackered. Yeah,
he looks tired. I wonder if maybe Yazici will come on at some point. Maybe put Yazici and Yilmaz up top together, the Turkish connection, for the last 10 minutes or so, or whether you just keep David on in the hope that one chance comes to him and he can maybe use that last bit of pace to burst forward and get something in the game. But just look at the chat. Ian's in the building. How are you doing, Ian? All good as always. As Lyon, with 13 minutes left, or 12 to be precise, coming forward here. Chance for Kadewere, and I think that's going to out of play for a goal kick.
Yep, and Cornet cutting a frustrated figure there. I think it definitely did come off Cornet last, and Reinildo's done very well again. When he's been in these 1v1 battles, he's won them on most occasions, apart from the opening 5 minutes of the half. And it is going to be another change for Lyon and for Lille. And that's Dubois being replaced by Ben Lamry.
Ben Lamry, Algerian centre-back coming on, so that's an interesting choice. I wonder who's going to go to the full-back position. Kakare, I'm going to guess Iowa coming on? Yeah. Iowa comes on. So I wonder who's going to play left-back now, because Lamry being a centre-back could play left-back, but he's not the quickest. And when you're coming up against the likes of Bamba and Araujo...
Maybe De Sciglio out there?
Yeah, I would say that's the best choice. Put De Sciglio out, and then here comes
David for Yazici. Look at this.
David. Must be listening to us, because that's the change he's made. And Turkish connection up top now. Let's hope that Yazici, who was the Europa League top scorer for pretty much the majority of the season, he comes on now, and he'll be hoping to bag what will be a very crucial goal.
Yeah, for the lack of end product, Jonathan David gives you a hell of a lot of work rate. Because admittedly, his final finishing hasn't been great, his final pass hasn't been great. Got a goal on the night, but also he works damn hard for the team. And that's all you can really ask for if you're not going to score a goal.
Yeah, just put a good shift in, and that's what he tends to do 9 times out of 10. As we said at the start of the stream, he struggled a bit in the opening stages of life at Lille. But, when you're getting used to a new league, being at a big club, it can take, 10 or 15 games, maybe sometimes more for some players, to get used to your surroundings and your players. But he's really starting to shine now when they are getting their money's worth for what they spent, because it was a heavy fee from Ghent. But Yazici, different mould, not as quick, but a good poacher, technically more of a cam, but seems to be converting himself to a striker as time continues on. And I wonder whether, when Yilmaz does go, because I don't think he'll be here for much longer, maybe another season or two, whether Yilmaz, when he leaves, Yazici takes on his role and kind of models him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to do what they do in this, see what they do in the summer in terms of additions they make, because this is a nice blend, Lil, of experience and youth.
Yeah,
which I think is
the perfect mixture.
Yeah, they've really have mastered it within their squad, and this is Xhaka with some nice movement forward, and he gets tripped.
Is this Yilmaz territory again? Might be a bit awkward.
Oh, I tell you what, if he hits one from here,
we would absolutely love it.
I'll be very impressed. I think this is cross it territory.
Yeah.
As Bamba comes over it, I think he's took that quickly actually.
He has indeed.
The referee's going to allow it. There's a man on the deck. It's Araujo. Out to Selic again. He's going to go the long way around. Just gets
done a little bit too much. And now let's see how many numbers come forward here for Lyon. Look at the sprint on the right hand side from Kadiwere. Might be a little bit. Oh no, it's Kadiwere. It's Cornet. Sorry, and yeah,
he's dribbled it out of play.
Waste of an opportunity that.
Yeah, I think he's one of them where Kadiwere wanted it on the floor rather than in the area to try and he's in a narrow space on that side and he's trying to do knee ups to keep it in play. It's really difficult. If he gives that one on the deck, probably easier to control.
Absolutely. 9 minutes left. It's 2-2. It's a game where you feel it could have somebody who wins it late, and what a late winner it would be in the complexion of the Ligue title race. If you're a PSG fan, if you're a Monaco fan, you're praying that the score stays as it is. You don't want either team to win, because if Lyon or Lille win, they do gain ground on the rest of the pack. But if you're a Lyon or a Lille fan, you are biting your nails, because you know, especially for Lyon, that you're going to find yourself in a much worse position if you don't win this game.
Yep, and this game, as it stands, puts the title race back in Paris Saint-Germain's hands. The big bad of the French Football League look like they're going to keep their spot at the top as Jonathan Bamba tries to do some silky skills, and it's more like silly skills because it's out of play.
And I think everybody's hoping now Monaco can maybe come back, which is mad because Monaco. Obviously the money bags of Monaco, no more. It's not really money bags, is it? It's a completely fresh new team, and I think if they were to win the league, Niko Kovac would get an unbelievable amount of credit for what he's done, and fair play to him. But
Wijnaldum's done brilliantly.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he, since he's come on? Brilliant substitution from Christophe Galtier.
Yeah, again, as I say, worried about him first couple of minutes. I thought he looked a little bit shaky with some of the times he was dispossessed and some of the passes were wayward. But once he settled into the game, he's really settled, and he's not lost a single battle on that left-hand side since he came onto the pitch. But it's through the middle where Lyon are trying to build at the moment.
And you're going to need to build quick. Ball given away in the end. It's going to be Boubacar Soumaré who gets the ball back. And long ball flicked on here. Burak Yilmaz just keeps the ball in play, but it'll go out in the end as it comes off his back heel. And another chance for the Turk, which will leave him a little bit frustrated that he didn't make the most of that.
Hasn't stopped running all day long as Burak Yilmaz. Another man who's just been absolutely brilliant in this whole game, really. Apart from, the opening stage where he didn't see much of the ball, when he's been called upon, he's made masses of difference. And him and Silimani really took the game back scruff at neck today. Silimani now off the pitch. But here we go.
And Mehmet's put I am fan to Team LOSC. Go Lille, go. He's hoping Lille can get something in this game, but he might have to watch out because Lyon coming forward here. Ball flicked into the path of, I think it's Kadiwere. And Lyon trying to hope here that they can get a late winner in this game. Here's Gimenez. Lovely pass towards the path of, I think... I'm trying to see who that is. It's Desciglio, who has moved into that right back position, but just a little bit too... weak in the end, and Lille get the ball back.
Well cut out again by that man Wijnaldum,
who's been fantastic, and I wonder why.
Whoa,
there's a chance here. Yilmaz still going. Heavy touch.
Chip in.
Oh, brilliant! The shirt's coming off, and it really is Turkish delight now, because Burak Yilmaz might have just put Lille into a brilliant position in this title race.
Oh my God!
And on a night where Lille were finding themselves 2-0 down, bring it back 3-2. What a game.
Yazici wins the header in the midfield and he's through one-on-one. And if there's one man you can bank on finishing it, it's the man who has been unbelievable today, and that is Burak Yilmaz. The composure to chip the keeper, as you were asking David to do earlier. Yilmaz does it. And when you need to win the title, you call an experience, and that is what Burak Yilmaz is. What a fantastic goal. He's onside. Brilliant header over the top by Yazici.
I thought at first that touch there was a little bit too heavy, but Lopez doesn't gamble on coming out. He risks on the fact that he's going to sit there and try and take him on. As you can see, he does come out slightly, and in the end, Burak Yilmaz chips him. Brilliant chip into the back of the net.
What a
performance from Lille, who come back from 2-0 down to lead the game, and surely there's not much time for more drama.
Oh my God, it has been Jackal and Lille tonight. You could not tell this team in the first half was going to come out like they have. This is the fire and the heart of champions, which we are seeing right now. And the shirt was off. It's a yellow, but he'll take it.
Let's hope he doesn't score another one, because it'd be a red card for getting his shirt off twice. But Tubbs is in the building. He's way late, and he's turned up at the right time because it is 3-2. And Burak Yilmaz, as Mehmet literally just came in and said he's a Lille fan, must be absolutely buzzing right now because Lille are in the lead. Is there any time for more drama?
Well, for me, it looks like he's a fan of the Turks because he's put Yazici, Burak and Zeki Çelik. Yazici with the nod on, the Turkish connection. Yazici, Yilmaz chips the
Yilmaz
keeper.
chips him.
What a game we've witnessed tonight, and it's not over yet.
No, and I think we'll get a few minutes of additional time. Could have maybe, I would say, around about 6 or 7 minutes left. So lots of opportunities for Lyon to maybe go and get something in this game. But as it stands in the Ligue 1 table, for those of you wondering, Lille now go back to second. It means Lyon will be 4 points behind PSG. Monaco in third. And it hasn't updated.
It's not your fault. That's the bloody...
Let me update it.
That's the bloody...
There we go. Lille go top. 73 points. PSG 72 in second. Monaco 71. And Lyon, surely that would put them out of the title race. Not fully, but 67 points would put them 5 behind Lille. But there's still time for drama. Let's not say it's over yet.
There is. And Mehmet is absolutely buzzing.
Carl saying, come on, Lille, we'd like someone to knock PSG off their perch. They've been so good this season, but it's not done yet. I still think Lyon are going to have 1 or 2 chances before the end. They will push every man forward in what for them is another big cup final, and it looks like they're going to bottle it. But it seems to me, Kieran, that every single time we've covered a Ligue 1 game, it does not disappoint.
No, not at all, and especially the big matches, you know.
Yeah.
We cover the big matches of most leagues most times, and they don't always come off. I mean, I'm not going to be harsh, but especially in the Premier League. But Ligue 1 this year seems to be blown wide open by these teams. As Bard goes to cross it in, it's Felter Mendes on the edge of the box. It's Grimares turning inside out. But he keeps the ball and they'll carry on attacking.
They will indeed. Bard going to play it back into Guimaraes. 2 minutes left on the clock. Lovely ball to Bard. Got a brilliant chance here to whip the ball into the box. It's a heavy cross. Comes towards Cornet. And I think in the end it will be a corner.
Oh, Jesus.
And a chance here for Lyon. And for a second, you were excited. You were thinking he was going to get a good connection, but slight deflection.
I tell you what.
Takes that for a corner. Send the keeper up. I know there's 2 minutes left. Send him up. Why not?
It's one of them.
Marcelo, I think, is going to be on this. Lobbed in by Memphis Depay.
Marcelo does connect with it. Players are down in the box. The referee lets it continue. It's out to Bard. On the left-hand side. Great play. Crossed into the box again. To Marcelo, your man.
Oh, he tries to take a touch inside the box, and with the cluster of players in there, he just wasn't able to. And I thought Bard originally was going to take the shot on.
Yeah, so did I. He was going for the Cheston volley, what I call the Ibanez special from the Europa League.
Depay. Guimaraes. Good defending in the end from Lille. They've got to stand tall now as we're into the last minute. Lopez is at the halfway line, and you would expect it to be all Lyon for the last few minutes.
Yeah.
How much additional time do you think we're going to get? 3 minutes?
4. I think
6, why not?
Yeah, just to make it exciting, as Cornet squares up Zeki Çelik. Çelik does extremely well, and he's going to see this one go out of play.
Brilliant work from him. Just keeps tight to his man.
And it looks as if with 45 seconds to go, we'll finally find out how long's left of this game. I'll be honest, I hope this 30 minutes added, because this has been such a
great game, hasn't it? It's been another fantastic night of Ligue 1 action as we go into the last 30 seconds of normal time. And Emir Turk in the building, another Turkish fan, absolutely buzzing with Burak scoring the goal. And we love the Turkish connection tonight has been brilliant as Lille. Yes, they are first Tubbs. They are first indeed, 1 point ahead of PSG. As we will find out in a second how much additional time we've got left. And Mainen going to hit the ball up the pitch here. And we will be going into, I think that's 3 minutes of additional time.
Not enough.
Not enough in a game which has had pure drama. Lyon were 2-0 up in this match. Burak Yilmaz, literally with about 40 seconds of the first half left, smashed in a 24-metre free kick. It was a brilliant, brilliant goal. And then unbelievable comeback from Lille to go from 2-0 down to 3-2. Yilmaz with a double. David with a very simple finish. Strikers perfect tonight.
Yeah, with Yilmaz again being the creator in that one as he tried to go long, and the experience of Jose Fonte. I'll tell you, he's done brilliantly to keep that in. I think it was Hassam Aouar. But yeah, as you say, I think Yilmaz has been by far the standout tonight, creating that second goal. Okay, Paqueta made a bad error and Yilmaz was through on goal, but it's the instincts to be in that position to prey on the mistakes. And he has been lights out tonight as Mainan comes and claims it. First thing he's claimed tonight.
Carl's put Brad Yilmaz did score the third. He did indeed. As Mehmet put, I support the Lille. I think and want this season for Lille to be champions. And I think for a lot of people in France, for a lot of people in Europe that watch Ligue, we want to see somebody different win it, whether it be Lille, Monaco, or Lyon. But I think Lille this season probably deserve to be up there within a shout. Monaco, I think, for how they've been the silent killers of Ligue 1.
If they had a good first half of the season, or a better first half of the season, because I remember the first couple of weeks we were sat in like 10th or something. Yeah. And, they'd have been even, a little bit more consistent. God, they could have been 5 points clear of this league. But it just sets it up so much nicer for the final weeks of the season. And you want Lille to win. I'm sure everyone's got their own favourites. Don't think anyone cares about PSG, but
unless you're a PSG fan, of course. But maybe one more chance here for Lyon to come forward into the final 70 seconds of this match. Bard tries to flick a ball into the box. It's deflected away in the end by Zeki Selik, and Lyon here needs something and fast to blow the doors wide open in this Ligue 1 title race. Will it go from 3 clubs to 4 as now maybe a chance here for Lille to come forward? Yilmaz gives the ball away in the end as Iowa drives forward. Depay goes down. Referee plays on. Bard flicks the ball into the box. It's a little bit heavy in the end.
Bad.
And for a second there, I thought maybe Depay was going to get a free kick.
Yeah, played the advantage, and unfortunately for Lyon, that advantage really cost him because that cross from Bard is lofted and way, way, way over the crossbar. And that, for me, probably calls curtains on an entertaining Ligue 1 tie. 20 seconds to go, but Lille will eke every single second out of it.
And Tubbs has put, if Lille win the title, this game will be remembered. And it will be, because this will probably be the one game, depending on what happens at the end of the season, where they look back and think, that could be the game that wins them the title.
We talked before the game about all the draws they've had and getting over the line. This game has got them over the line, and they are 3-2. Looks like they're going to be victors in the game. Referee looks at the watch. Referee blows the whistle. Lille are over the line. They have one hand on the title with about 4 games to go.
And look at the reaction from Christophe Galtier. It was like a cup final. He knows how important that this win was for Lille. They were 2-0 down, let's not forget, in this game. They had to fight back. And what an unbelievable performance tonight from all the players, and specifically for me, Burak Yilmaz, who really did put in a stellar performance. And surely, is this going to be the year that Lille finally get their hands on the title and break PSG's unbelievable record?
Lyon players on the floor, dejected, dishevelled. But you talk about Yilmaz, and he's so crucial because how many title races has he been in the past of his career? You need players like that to get you through this. These younger players have never been in this situation before. A player like that,
he's won countless titles.
Yeah, to stand up tonight like he has, and I've got to admit, he's dragged his team kicking and screaming back into a game where they look dejected with 44 minutes played, and Lille may look back on this as the game that sealed their title, but there is so much more football to play. They won't get ahead of themselves, but what a win to get back to the top of Ligue 1. And Lyon maybe cut away from the title race after seeming like they had it all in their hands.
They did.
44 minutes played.
They did. We were sat here for a large part saying that Lille looked terrible and weren't going to win it. But they did in the end, and it was a brilliant result indeed. When you look at the stats of the game, 54% possession for Lille, 46% for Lyon, 16 shots, 7 on target for Lille, 7 shots, 2 on target for Lyon.
Second half, as I said to you earlier, Jackal and Lille. Yeah. Genuinely. First half, you could not tell that was the same team that came out in the second. And I think it was influenced by the changes. I've got to admit, Reinildo at left-back was extremely solid. Then the changes they made to bring on Bamba, I think he brought a little bit more to the party than most did. And then the moment the changes were made, Yazici winning that final header. Game plan, to say they had a shaky start, A+ from 45 minutes onward from Lille. And
I feel like the substitutions helped the players who were on the pitch to up their game. Reinildo, I think, was one of those where I think it actually helped Selik to up his game in the match for both of them to completely steal the show at the back and really keep out the likes of Kadewere and Toko Ekambi for large parts, who never really looked like we're going to get into it. Same with Cornet as well, didn't really do much in the end to get back into it. But Mehmet's put perfect results. Have a nice night, everybody.
I hope
Thank
you subscribed, Mehmet. I hope to see you again.
Hopefully we'll see you again, because we've got lots of games to come. But in the table, Lille go top on 73 points. They are 1 point ahead of Paris Saint-Germain, who's sitting second on 72. Monaco in third on 71 points, and Lyon now 5 points behind in this title race. They will be looking to just fight. Well, they're already in the top four. They'll just be looking to fight for whatever finish that they can get in the league. But yeah, as we said before, we feel like that might count Lyon out of the race. Don't forget, we've got more streams coming up on the channel over the next few days. We've got Real Madrid-Chelsea. That is live on Tuesday. Rowan's going to be covering that from 7:55 p.m. UK time as the semi-finals begin the Champions League. Wednesday and throughout the week, you can join Will for all of the latest with the NFL draft. On Wednesday, he'll be doing his first round mock. For the rest of the week, he'll be covering the draft live on the channel late night. Wednesday night, Kieran D, you're going to be covering PSG taking on Manchester City. What a game that's going to be in the other Champions League semi-final. And then both the Kierans will be live for the Europa League as Man United take on Roma and Villarreal take on Arsenal. Your weekend's action, Friday afternoon this time for the A-League. Perth Glory taking on MacArthur Bulls. That's from 12:35. You can join Rome for that on the 30th of April. And then what a game at the weekend. Rangers taking on Celtic, 11:55 a.m. for that one. And then night time, Monaco-Lyon. What a game that one's going to be. Another Ligue 1 mouth-watering clash.
Over to you, Niko Kovac. Jesus Christ. When you think this race is over, the horse finds a second wind, and tonight it's Lille that found the second wind. Hello to Alperen Erkase, who says Burak and Yusuf is the best. Don't forget Zeki Selik, he's there as well. What a performance from this Lille team, and this is one of them that I will not soon forget.
No, this has been an incredible season in Ligue 1 for the title race, and I'm hoping, I really want it to go down to the last day. I really do. Why not? Let's have a bit of fun with the last day action. Let's just quickly look over tonight's results across European football, just see what went on. Bilbao, massive win tonight. 2-1 win against Atletico Madrid. It was an 86-minute goal from Inigo Martinez, which means 2 points now separate Madrid, Barca and Real. Barca with a game in hand. I think that is going down to the wire as well. Atalanta with a 5-0 win over Bologna. Bologna were down to 10 men for large parts of that game. Sporting, late goal I would assume in that one. Yeah, it was 81st minute, Matheus Nunes to keep their dreams alive of a Ligue 1 title win. And that is pretty much it with the rest of games in European football. But what a game that was tonight. Lyon-Lille 3-2. Going to be a fun end to the season, that's for sure. If you have enjoyed the stream, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription as always. And don't forget to check out our social media links. Our Twitter is at @the_top-corner. Do go and check that out, because we always post up on there when we go live on YouTube. Check out our Instagram as well. We also post up on there when we go live on YouTube. That's _sportscorner_. And also check out our website, which is thesports-corner.com. Links are in the description as always. We will have lots of articles going up on there over the next few days with the NFL draft continuing on over the next week. That is going to be covered by Will. But what a game we had tonight. A Ligue 1 title decider. We expected it to be one of the best games of the season, and by God, was it a cracker?
They played like it was a cup final, and on this occasion, Lille are the victors, and Lyon left losing again. They are now cut away from the rest of the pack. 3 teams left, all to play for.
Is indeed. Thank you very much, Kyle. Same time next week.
Oh, I cannot wait, Josh. I'll see you there, my friend.
We will be there next week. Monaco are taking on Lyon. That's the game next week at Ligue 1. That'll be on Sunday night, again at the same time as what this one was. But as for now, as I said before, don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. This title race is going all the way. We'll see you next time. Good night.